What's happening, everybody? Hit that like. About to get started. Oh, hit that like. We're about to start the show. Give me a minute, a little less. Moon River. All right, let's oh. All right, let's see if this does anything to bring. Hey, it does work. Hold on, and I can bring in the chat room right away. Excellent. Okay, good. I was a little worried because after this morning, using the show on Ecamm, always when I hop back to OBS, I'm like, please work, just friggin' work. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Glad you had a good long walk with the dogs. That's excellent. because everybody burps sometime. Trump was very sleepy today. I got to say, one of the upsides of all these plate spinnings that they're doing at the White House is that it's wearing him out even faster. Now, we got a lot of stuff to cover today. I'm going to jump straight into it. Let me make sure all my windows are working fine. They are. Hey, look, it's Candace Owens. Candace is going full. You know how I was talking for a while about who was going to take Alex Jones's role? And you had different people kind of taking over which version, of Alex, where Rusty Trombone would be hippie Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson was becoming the dweeb Alex Jones. This might be our first Blalex Jones. See what I did there? Because this has just become... There's a point to where when you dig deep enough into a conspiracy where you can never really come up with a real answer, the only way you can satisfy your audience and your own sense of, I guess, full paranoia is to keep digging forever. Right? And so let me see if I can pick this up in the spot that, this is about where I picked up. Where she's going on about how Bridget Macron, because she's an older woman and she's older than the president, that she's a man and whatever and shit like that. And the fascinating part of this is that most of us see through her attacks on Brigitte Macron as just kind of anti-trans garbage. And that normally that is where it would stop. And the problem that they have, I think, by and large, is that those of us... I have like food on my lip. I was eating before. That's the problem with beard hair. It catches everything. I need to put more... I need to get some beard conditioner. Anyways, in sort of diving into this, it will never be enough to just go, she's trans and therefore perv and therefore gay and therefore less than, which is pretty much the equation they're all running in their heads, right? It'll never be enough. It'll never be enough. So, where do you go from there? Well, she's got to be an older man who went after a young, easy to influence, destined to be president, because that's how conspiracies work. It has to play out that way. Young man, she was gonna, find this, hot piece of man meat, turn herself into a hot piece of woman meat to lure the hot piece of man meat into her clutches, where she would puppet master him into the presidency and therefore control of the world, because France, clearly France is the pivot point for every... it's not. Never mind. So, ultimately, if you dead end at just being an anti-trans bigot, it's not going to be enough for the current maggots. You know what I mean? It's not... It's good. That's... what's the phrase? Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Where are we? There's a phrase that just keeps going through my head, and this would be in here. Son of a bitch! I have so many.
Oh, hello there.
I have so many phrases. And sometimes you see them and then you're just like, oh yeah, I remember that one.
Well, stupid, are you ready?
But it's... I'm going to have to... Some of these just deserve their own special standout color, but I don't have them. But it's... I don't know why the fuck don't I just do it. But it's going to annoy me now, and now I have to find it. Nice. Not thrilling, but nice. That's the one I was looking for. I would,
Would you classify that as a launch problem or a design problem?
I'm gonna go with design problem on my end. Really, I mean, what the fuck? Yeah. So that that's the essence of this. Nice, not thrilling, but nice. And it won't be enough to excite and provoke the fever dreams of the. Hold on, let me see. Previews, yeah. Open preview projection. Where are we going here? There we go. Yeah, and then hold on. Take that down. And this. Okay, there we go. Much better. So, if she wants to, gin up maggot excitement, she's going to need a lot more than Brigitte Macron is just a trans woman and whatever. She's going to need a big, deep, sweaty, sexy conspiracy. It's got to be something bigger. And that's where we get into the old-fashioned Alex Jones, Bohemian Grove-ish kind of serpent, pedophile, whatever. I don't understand it, and I don't think she does either. But that's the great thing about this. I guess you never have to, right? You never have to actually get it. You just have to go, huh? I mean, and you can see it, right? I mean, I'm not the only one. This is because if you're feeling this, don't you feel a little weird? Right. When that's enough, shit, why stop at Macron is really a man? Just go straight to fucking lizard at this point, right? Okay, so let's check this out. This is just a little slice of the paranoia pie that's coming. That Madam Owens is serving in her kitchen.
And how the world is run, to figure out that Brigitte was born a man. What are we gonna do? We're gonna file a lawsuit. A lawsuit filing was a mistake, obviously. It was globally consequential, right? They wanted to stop it, and yet they spread it. Catastrophic to their aims. The more pressure they exert toward control, the more they spin out of it. Another example, lock them down at home. Make them wear a mask.
Also, why is that another example? I have yet to understand. Maggots, can somebody in the fucking maggot world explain this to me? That this sounds like this is how they get you, man. They use a hurricane to get you out of your house so they can go in there with a metal detector and look at your hard drive. Like there's this, the paranoia that as if life doesn't actually go on, as if a pandemic is fucking impossible, and that people's reaction to a pandemic can't be an actual organic thing with a mix of fear and conjecture and actual facts, and and a difficulty ascertaining what advice has value and doesn't over a period of time when it's obviously striking the world in an extraordinary way. And part of the reason why these fuckheads think that COVID was a hoax was because the Chinese convinced everybody they only had 4,000 deaths when the disease came from their country. This is the thing, that it started there. And by the way, when they say it escaped from a lab, the maggots want you to think that Chinese people made a virus to kill people and released it, wink, wink, and it escaped, wink, wink, but they were really just putting it out there and that it was going to kill everybody, even though it's a hoax. That's the other thing, like Epstein. Like Epstein's a fucking Democrat hoax, but they're the ones that want to release it. There's only fucking 4 Republicans that would sign on to a discharge petition to expose a Democratic hoax. It's so lame. It almost feels like, why are we even having to bother talking about this horseshit? But when it comes to COVID, the number of dead in China, the absolute statistical minimum of dead people from COVID in China is somewhere in the order of 25 to 50 million people. 25, and by the way, when you hear a number like that, and by the way, I think it's 10 times higher. I think it's probably close to 250 at this point, because it's just rolling and they're not doing any mitigations anymore at all. And it's not like they ever really had a vaccine and they just kind of like, fuck it. We're just clearing out the old people. One of the things you have, if you look at a demographic collapse, is we don't have enough young people to take care of the old people. Oh, look, magically a disease rolls in that kills a lot of old people. It might take some young people, but let's just stand back and let it do its thing. There's a sick logic to that, a passive eugenics logic to that is absolutely within the normal order of business with the CCP. So, but 25 million minimum, okay? deaths from COVID. Period. End of story. That is the absolute floor. And if you hear a number like that, 25 to 50 million, then the idea that they welded people into their apartments and that they rounded people up on the street like they were stray dogs and put them in little prisons that they called hospitals and let them live in this room getting fed through a hole under the door like a prisoner in fucking Papillon, makes a lot more sense. Right? That sounds like what the reaction that a government would have in that extraordinary, horrible circumstance, right? If suddenly you got millions of people dying, you're like, oh, fuck. And then you start really, then the government overreach is completely explained by that. But you don't weld people into their fucking apartments for 4,000 people. You just don't. So part of the whole thing about they think it's fake is because they believe the Chinese numbers. She believes the Chinese numbers. She believes that there were only 4,000 dead over there. So it was all manufactured and fake. And even the dead over here were like, these people were gonna die anyways. All right. By the way, I'd like to say for the record that Summer complimented my beard and said it made me look like an evil genius. It's like, it's good. It frames your face. I mean, it makes you, you got a very boyish face. It makes you look more masculine. You look more like, she literally said evil genius. And I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm a bad boy. I'd be a bad boy, even on a global scale. 1 million, bazillion, billion, yen. Right. Yeah, 4,000 per day maybe is exactly right. By the way, hi, chat room. If you're watching and you're not engaged in the chat, say hi. Just pop in. You don't have to say a whole lot. You see it going by there and that kind of stuff. Just give a thumbs up or whatever site you're watching on. That helps us with the algorithm, helps us boost our numbers. All right, and now on with her paranoid bullshit. So again, COVID is a hoax, and yet Donald Trump was the mastermind between Operation Fart Steed.
Captain's log.
And so I guess clearly he was part of the conspiracy, him and his buddy Xi Jinping, you fucking tool.
Right? Create COVID in a lab, make everybody sick, force them to get the jab.
Okay, well, at least she says that it was a real disease that got everybody sick. I don't know what everybody sick means, but and then forced them to get the jab. You weren't forced to do it. You were just, if you wanted to do shit, you were more apt to like go back to work and hang out with other people so that you wouldn't clog up emergency rooms if you did catch it because it was out there, especially around Delta, which was fucking people up.
Evil is really fun that way until it accidentally awakens the entire world to how fraudulent Big Pharma is.
Yeah, it didn't do that. Have you seen the Ozempic numbers, you dizzy fuck? People are lining up for the newest jab. Holy shit. Think about that for a second, you fool. This is amazing to me. Finally, people are waking up to the reality. They're saying, keep your bullshit jab away from them. Meanwhile, everybody's like, oh, Ozempic, hard to believe it's not blow. oh. How'd you get so skinny? Ozempic? No, cocaine. Ah, all right. Well, sure. Worked in the 70s, I guess.
Like, is this now everyone's going, is this just a factory of poison? Do these people,
No.
are they so evil? Have we just been giving our bodies over to quote unquote science?
No, we have not. No, we haven't. We've been surviving a lot of diseases over the last 7 decades, especially, that used to kill people right fucking away. Okay? This goes to the whole RFK, like, when I was a kid, they didn't even have kids with chronic disease. We're like, yeah, because they fucking died, you dumbass. They died when they were 6 years old. Now you got all these 12-year-olds and 15-year-olds running around with chronic disease. And you're like, yes, they survived.
Now, going back to the Looking Glass and them shutting down this project and not being able to edit whatever it was, we obviously cannot know for certain what it is that they saw when they peered.
Okay, sorry. Project Looking Glass is, in theory, this idea that they... has anybody ever seen the movie Deja Vu with Denzel? Hold on. Let me... Back to this. If you haven't, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. Tony Scott movie, bless his heart. I have to admit... sorry. One Deja Vu movie. Yeah, here it is. This one, Deja Vu, Denzel. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. It's like it's served up so well. I mean, Val Kilmer is in it. Paula Patton, the girl who plays the woman who plays Claire Kutchifer in that, is so fucking good. It is the movie that turned Jim Caviezel evil, though. Like, because he's been that character since that movie. Carol Orstadt is like a right-wing hero. But yeah, like a bunch of these. It's a great movie. I enjoy it. If you haven't seen it, give it a try. It's one of Denzel's early dip his toe into like infusing his Christianity into his movies when it still made sense and had a kind of, it's kind of like Rocky or Brad Pitt in F1, genuflecting, praying before they get in their car or whatever. There's a little bit of spirituality and wearing it on your sleeve in there, which I'm totally fine with. Before he did Book of Eli, which is just the most messed up, from an ethical and moral and Christian standpoint, Book of Eli is fucking evil. He's a woman being raped and murdered. And he's like, I have a choice. I can save her, or I can save the package that I've got to get to its destination. And the package is the last copy of the Bible, so that it can be put on the shelf next to the Quran in a library in San Francisco. And this is supposed to be some sort of like red baiting pro-Christian movie. Like, it's the weirdest stupid shit. Anyways, Deja Vu is a great movie. Really do enjoy it. But the premise of it is that they have figured out how to look back in time 4 days. And that it isn't just that they can replay the past, that it's an active line, because technically speaking, you couldn't just look at the past. You're seeing the actual past. Yeah, Alyosha, Book of Eli just sucks on so many levels. Isn't Mila Kunis in this? I mean, the only movie she's ever been in that I've seen that has any decent morals at all is Extract. You're welcome. Anyways, so there's this scene where he asks the question, look, is she on the other side of this, or can we just see her, or is she really alive right there? Am I watching a living person in the past, or am I watching a space imprint in time? And then he messes with it, and now he's obsessed with the idea that he could save this woman's life because he's in love with her, basically. And what's not to love? Jesus Christ, she's gorgeous. It's brutal. Paula Patton is just, I mean, come on. So, yeah, she didn't see him. She sees the laser, right? I don't want to give it away. If you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. It's a spoonful. It's not heavy. Man on Fire is amazing. And I think like Dakota Fanning is in Man on Fire, and her sister is in Deja Vu. Yeah. Anyways, Kilmer's just terrific in it. Yes, I would try it. It's so well done. Love it. It's one of those really well done sci-fi films that just has genuine heart to it. It's terrific. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But the point is that they had this technology in the movie where they can look back 4 days in the past, but only 4 days in the past, and 4 days, 8 hours, something like that. That was the window. And then as your time moves forward, so does that time until what you can see catches up with where you are. And you obviously don't keep looking because you would just see where you showed up yourself, I guess. You'd see yourself when be an overlap. Just a waste of time. So what they're trying to do is watch up to and find the guy who did it so that if they know who did it, they can't stop him, but they can catch him in the act in absentia, right? Yeah, Man on Fire is terrific. Love that. So a lot of people are trying to recreate Man on Fire for themselves all the time. Mel Gibson tries it like twice a year. So that's sort of based on the Project Looking Glass thing that she's talking about, which is this thing that where apparently they set up this, at CERN or something, they were able to look through into the future and they could see the future up to a certain point. And then the way the way they explain it, hold on, let's see if I can bring up this. It's a secret military device for viewing the future. They used in the Cold War. And let's see, the theory is that they developed the machine in the 70s using argon gas and crystals to see probable futures, linked to concepts like Mandela effect and timeline shifts. And then some connected to ideas that reality we're in is a simulation, and that changes in our perceived reality are due to shifts in these timelines, where they jump the timeline. If you know what the Mandela effect is that some people remember Mandela being arrested, and others remember he was never arrested or something. And that was one of the points. Yeah, Hal's doing the weave. No. This entire conversation, they're weaving. The maggots are weaving, and I'm just trying to catch up. I'm like in a paddle boat behind these guys on the river crazy, and they're in fucking sea dews. So, and let's see. A real continuous military airborne command center for commanding nuclear forces during a nuclear attack was called Operation Looking Glass. But so the name shows up and stuff. There was Sun Microsystems Looking Glass, which was an experimental holographic desktop display for 3D content. And then there was the Looking Glass Art Project, an art project in Pennsylvania helping refugees share their stories. And these are the three things where it showed up. And then, let's see. Yeah, so knowing that, let's just jump in. And she explains a little bit, I think, of Project Looking Glass. Cuckoo!
Through into this looking glass. But I do have a general sense that they're trying to edit its inevitability with ill-guided lawfare and warfare. And what I think is that our collective awareness is a threat. I think...
That's right. We're all waking up. And our collective awakenness, some would call it being woke, is seizing controls of the threads of history so that we cannot be dragged into a future of our unliking by people that would command the direction of time or some shit.
Everybody peeking their heads up is making them increasingly more frantic.
Or maggots elected a fucking idiot who's got jello for brains, and you're gonna get that kind of fragmented craziness from someone like that. This shit didn't whip up under Biden, and it didn't whip up under Obama. It's pretty acute to the current administration.
Like they know we're barreling toward some foregone conclusion, and they have spent decades trying to stop that.
Well, if they know it's a foregone conclusion, yeah.
To prevent that. And when I think about what it is, right, I just consider their general obsessions and their general trigger.
They, them, their, they, does.
Yes.
They
are positively obsessed with the Antichrist.
They are? Who's they?
I mean, like people like Peter Thiel. He's like going.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, you mean people on Trump's side? People in Trump's circle? He's not positively obsessed. He wants to be the Antichrist.
around giving interviews asking about the Antichrist.
Sorry, he's giving interview. What is he asking reporters if do you know the Antichrist? Have you ever met him? Is he really in media? I've always figured he would be.
That's kind of the entire drift, by the way, of the AI world. When I say, look at these people, I don't like their eyes.
Too blue or too brown? Too round? Too beady? Too shifty? Almost like nervous nerds who don't do well with people?
Something disturbs me. They mock.
Yeah, a lot of things disturb you. One would even think of you as sort of perpetually, what's the word, disturbed.
That take me out of a clip. Oh my gosh, I don't care. I have spiritual discernment. Something about the entire AI movement feels wrong. And
Was it real quick? Ma'am, if I may, one moment, please. Can you explain to me the difference between spiritual discernment and ignorant paranoia? I'll wait. Dum 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 dum. Shit.
and come on, what am I wrong?
Yes. He looks like a dweeb. This is what dweebs look like. What do you want?
Am I wrong?
Yes, you are. He looks like Tony Hinchcliffe if he took testosterone.
Sam Altman, all of them. And they are, no, you can trust us. It's like they want us all to become automated so that we can be more easily controlled. What?
Yeah, the new government target. Or they could be trying to be the first to sell us a product that's the forever product that everyone will use forever and ever. And even after the post scarcity economy comes because of automation and AI, that people will be so grateful to them that they'll live a better life than the average plebe because we appreciate what they did for us, like Jonas Salk.
They're going to, okay, we can't control the outcomes. Let's just control where we're at. Let's control every single person in the world. And
Yeah, that's not complicated. We can't control the future, so let's just control 9 million people or 9 billion people. Let's do that. That'll make it easier.
make everything AI so that if we want to, they won't discover history. We can just delete files entirely. Nobody will be reading books anymore. The kids will.
Yep. They'll delete the books. There'll be a button that deletes books.
Be stupid. We can just wipe history. And
Unless you create a local AI that stores every history book ever and then it's offline and they can't, which tons of people are doing.
entire civilization with the push of a button. There'll be no more books.
Like you read. Come on. What's your latest? Anthony Jeselnik reads more books than she does. He reads more books than most people, I think, maybe.
And maybe I could say this is 1A, but they also seem to be similarly obsessed with trying to make everyone turn against Christ. I mean, that push over the last couple of.
Well, I think there is something to say about evangelicals trying to turn people off of Christ. Because there's one of the ways that you could turn people off from Christianity or the Christian religion is to be abjectly against it. Shit talk it down, make fun of people, mock them if they go, deride them, even pass laws that limit their religious freedom, if you possibly can do that. You can't do it in this country, but you can do it in another. The better way, and hear me out, the better way, if you want to turn people off from Christ and make them dismiss Christianity, dismiss the teachings of Jesus wholeheartedly, is that you let people like Donald Trump be the fucking spokesperson for your religion. That all of your preachers are scumbags. And by the way, she's Catholic, so please.
Yours, Christ is King is hateful. You shouldn't even be saying that. Why?
I don't know. If you say it yourself, I don't think it's a problem. If you yell it at a Jew as they're walking to synagogue, maybe that's what you mean. Again, it's not the words themselves or the syntax. I think it's just kind of maybe your tone.
That's a weird triggering that no one expected. No one.
Yeah, that nobody really has.
Should say that. It's anti-Semitic, whatever. Producing reports about Christ is King. Is that not just a waste of money? Why did they do that? Can we just revisit that? Why did they do that?
Who were they? Because it was specifically used in that I don't give a fuck. What the hell?
They produced a report and brought in doctors.
Well, at least it was, Are we talking like PhDs in religion, or are we talking
Moon River.
rubber glove docs?
Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
Hey, bring in doctors, sure.
To assert why Christ is king is wrong. That's weird, guys.
So weird.
And that's a triggering, by the way, that has been going on for a long time. It's the very reason they set about removing the Bible from the classroom.
No, the founding fathers did that. A bunch of anti-communist, freaked out American politicians, largely in red states, tried to reinsert it for fear that it was us versus the godless commies, and this was the line that they were drawing, not the violence of the communist regime and not the subjugation of human dignity, but it was just an us versus them. They might have been a new Byzantine Empire with, Muslim, atheist. It doesn't really matter. They're just not us.
Creating Hollywood in general, which was supposed to mirror Babylonian culture, training us to worship stars.
Oh my God, how did they do that? What? Stars. Because it's just like, it's like a Saturn religion. You know what I mean? It isn't that in a sea of uniformity, which would be space, some people stand out, and therefore a bright light standing out is kind of, emblematic of, never mind.
They wanted to establish this neo-paganism. They also wanted to...
Don't threaten me with a good time. What's neo-paganism? Is that where everybody goes to a Ren Fair dressed like they're in the Matrix? Sorry. Neo-paganism. What the fuck is neo-paganism?
make it so that
The new pagans? I think the old pagans are just fine.
Future generations would think atheism was cool. That was by and large successful. It was a period of time where I thought that atheism was cool. But why? Why this push? Well, I think the obvious answer.
Maybe it's not a push. Maybe you live in a country with a plurality of ideas and some of them bubble to the top naturally because of interest or cultural shifts. No, I'm sorry. It's got to be a big and unseen Jew hand over top of
Is
everything.
because they are actually that God is real. That's what they're fighting.
They know God is real, so they don't want you to know God is real. Because if you find out God is real, then God is real. Oh my God!
They're fighting God at all times. They know
That's exhausting.
he's real. And that should be refreshing to you. Like, God's obviously real, or would they be spending all the
Yes, knowing God is real, it's like a glass of iced tea on a hot day. That's wonderful. You know what I mean? It's like lemon meringue pie / a deity. You get them all in one. It's God, the Father, the Son, and the holy shit, this pie is delicious.
time trying to convince us that he wasn't? Right? Do you spend all of your time trying to convince people that this is something is fiction? No, they're terrified of that, or they wouldn't. They're open Satanists, as we showed you guys yesterday.
Well, you can't be a Satanist if you're an atheist. There's no such thing, stupid. You have to. That's still they're still believers. They still believe in your God and your dude and stuff. They just think they're on Team Hot Pants, right? What that real shithead. Real Satanists are Christians, or are, at least from the Abrahamic tradition at the very least. They just picked a different dude to follow in the Bible. They like the light bearer dude.
They're trying to foster a culture of demonic idolatry.
Yes, or as we like to call it, Mar-a-Lago.
Think about this. I lost a job in part
Sorry, I'm just thinking about you losing another one. Just whatever.
for saying that pornography is a spiritual weapon against men, and that we needed to look into the history of pornography.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't the fact that you think Jews are buying pornography. It was just, I got to think about pornography. I think it's bad. I think it's very unhealthy. Oh, yeah? Well, you're fired. Why? Tell me why you think there's a problem with pornography. Well, the Jews started it. Ah, I see.
Huh?
What? The who?
What that should signal to you is that their power relies on us being
Starting to figure out who this they is, right? Starting to get a good idea of who this them they is.
distracted, on us being focused on carnal desires, right?
Okay, I was for a second there, but I stopped.
Entirely living of the flesh. Like Tim Dillon said, the amenities, the pool, the new restaurant. Oh, look, there's a new celebrity over here.
Hi. Hello. Hi. I'm not a new celebrity. I've been around for quite some time, but I'm a damn fine one. Thank you for noticing. Charming as all get out. One of the good guys, I like to think. So, who are you again? Sorry? And what would you ever do if the world righted itself? Aren't you a tick on the very dog that's shaking the baby right now?
Yeah, so the threat is us being aware that spiritual evil exists. That's what they're afraid of. It's why they insist on this constant stream of pornography, filthy music, all of it. Because
if you're gonna serve me up a distraction, I'm listening.
if it
Filthy music, okay.
is true, as it's
Filthy. I assume you mean rap and hip hop by and large. I mean, we've got more to worry about, from Norwegian death metal, I guess, on my side of the shade chart.
been reported by various whistleblowers that our thoughts could impact future events, then what would
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's called The Secret. It's great.
happen if we all started focusing on goodness, eternal goodness, God?
You'd be out of a job. You wouldn't know what to do with yourself. Everybody on your side of the aisle would, I think, more than likely burst into flames.
Yeah, I think that's the very reason that all of these demons seem to be thrashing right now. And I just wanted to...
That's because you're walking around with holy water and a cross. The power of Christ compels you. Right. Look what she's doing to me.
dive into that project because I think we're all sensing a panic and it's real, but I also want you to know that it's good. It seems
Yeah, real good panic. Love me a real good panic.
crazy. You're like, no, everybody's out of control. It feels like things are getting dangerous. Yeah,
Getting?
but it feels to me like it's the last squeals of a dying demon.
Yes, I mean I think anybody sitting downwind from Trump hears that on the regular. That's I think that we have tape of it actually.
And we're going to speak more about that as well as CERN and
There we go.
what they discovered. We have to totally revisit that was happening at CERN just after a brief message from our sponsors.
She has sponsors.
All right, you guys, new research is revealing something.
Oh, she like anti-choice. Is that what her America's all about fewer choices. These are just amenities. Being able to control when and if you have a child, whether your body is used against you or weaponized against you, whether you're in a state that wouldn't prosecute your attacker, and you'd rather not have a child at 12 years old. That's too much choice for any human to deal with. Okay.
So modern science kind of being run by Satanists. So obvious.
So obvious. It is. I mean, who can't see it, right?
Again, just go back and watch our episode on the moon landing and the rituals that they were doing. It's always been this way, and they're creating it because they want you to worship science. And that their ultimate test to see if they had succeeded in that, I feel like it was COVID, right?
Real quick. They know God exists, and they're afraid we're going to find out. So they want us to worship science. How would this affect the existence of God? How would God not be able to go, yeah, dink? No, you can't do that to people. Is that what's happening? Is that what she's...
They stay inside. Like, they tried to make this a ritual, save lives. I mean, it had...
A ritual? Yeah, like eat right and go to the gym and spend time in mindfulness and hang out with friends and family. It's like this weird ritual or something that they're trying to impose on people these days.
There was actually a really good article in the Spectator UK regarding how they tried to establish COVID to mirror a religion, the ritual of it, even having something you can wear, a mask to identify with one another. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Why not?
Point being is that once you see that, you can't unsee it, that modern science is intentionally being created to conflict with God. And there are some really bizarre...
Yes, because God wants you to have untreated diabetes. God created polio, and he's pissed you won't catch it. Look, God created you. It's clear. God made you and all the little fishies in the sea. But he also made measles, okay? And you guys are trying to stop one of his favorite creations from killing kids. Assholes! And science is trying to get in the way.
things that have happened, particularly,
Why, Miss Sakamoto, you're beautiful.
I would say, regarding CERN. What do you actually know about CERN? I'm going to bring Mark on to mansplain this. What CERN is.
Yeah, I want to hear your description.
And what
The Large Hadron Collider, where they can speed up atoms and speed up particles and run all kinds of tests about the origins of the universe, about every possible atomic theory needs an environment that big to do it, to do those kind of tests.
they were involved in, and you guys kind of remember, we're trying to find the God particle. That was another push. Mark, jump on here and mansplain everything.
Yes, mansplain it, because there's no candy splaining.
Happy to. And I just want to preface by saying I am not a particle physicist. So I'm just,
That's so fun. You know what I mean? You're being modest again.
just use particle physics recreationally. I'm a high school dropout. This is all on my own. But CERN was basically established in 1954 to research particle physics.
So mansplaining is just reading Wikipedia. I'm glad we straightened that out. I've always been wondering about what truly defines mansplaining, and apparently it's just reading from Wikipedia.
There's something called the standard model of particle physics to kind of explain how everything exists and what it's made out of, to back up the Big Bang theory of creation. And one of the missing pieces was, how do particles that don't have mass attain mass out of nothing? And so
The Lord, okay, aka the ethers, aka dark matter, aka Higgs boson.
1964, a group of scientists theorized that there's something called a Higgs boson. One of the scientists was named Peter Higgs, I believe.
And the other one was named Johnny Bosom, but they couldn't do that. We're like, can we change the M in your last name to an N? Because Higgs bosom sounds like a fetish, actually.
And so the search was on to find this particle. And so that's why CERN...
Sorry. Look at Candace. She looks like this is the first time she's hearing this. She's going to do a whole explanation of what it is and how Satan runs the whole thing, and it's the devil's workshop. But look at her face. She's like, uh-huh. What? Uh-huh. What? It's like she's being hit in the forehead with little tennis balls. Just like, duke, huh? Duke, duke.
created the Large Hadron Collider, which is based in Geneva, Switzerland. And
which, by the way, I fully intend to visit this year. Like, Summer keeps going, like, where do you want to go to? Like, we should go to Europe and visit someplace. And I'm like, I want to go to CERN, take the tour. She's like, I was thinking someplace with a beach and sand. I'm like, maybe they've got a teleporter. We could do both.
is a 17-mile tunnel underground up to 600 feet
We got a big one here, by the way. So, was it 6 miles? Something like that? This is just a bigger one.
underground in
We got a medium-sized Hadron Collider.
some places where they shoot subatomic particles at each other at a very high speed to try and break them apart to see what they're composed of. And so in 2012, they observed a reaction that's consistent with this particle that was...
Which is weird, because in 2012, that's when the Mayan calendar ends, baby. That's when the world as we know it ends. Ernest Borgnine. You know what I'm saying? All right.
theorized back in 1964 that
By the way, that just fucking looks so cool. That thing. This looks like something out of like in a Marvel film. Looks like a close up of Tony Stark's heart from the inside.
some people were calling it the God particle to explain how
Yeah, I bet they were because they want us to worship science. Okay.
something can come from nothing and essentially try and
Nothing from nothing mean nothing.
erase God from the story of creation to create a scientific explanation of it.
Or find a scientific explanation if there is one to be had. I don't think you can erase God. I think the myth evaporates if it's a myth. The myth evaporates the minute you discover the truth, right?
So in short, exactly, they're
Yeah, science. Totally.
trying to be God. This is like the next step for them.
No, I don't think they're trying to be God. I think they're trying to point out that there isn't one. Or I don't even think this has anything to do with God. I think they're just trying to find out how particles that had no mass but have energy create mass without interference from before mass exists. Therefore, testing the Big Bang.
Controlling humanity, we're controlling their minds. Like, what can we do? What's the next step? We need to become creators of things on Earth. That's all the way. By the way, you guys, part
By the way, I have a 3D printer. I feel seen right now.
of my conspiracy, why I'm like have 12 kids. It's because they want to even control birth. They want to control dying. Like they're debating, oh, you should have. They always sell it as like it's more freedom for you. No, it's more power for them. We're gonna decide if you're allowed to be born. Everyone's gonna eventually in the future need IVF, which puts them in a place of power, and then
No, I think pretty much it'll just extend the ability for people to have children once they've matured. And the idea that you would have a child when you're in your 60s or 70s even would make you better suited, almost like a grandparent is, towards true wisdom and guidance towards a child instead of sort of the panic of the come up when you're in your 20s and 30s and you're trying to get your life together, that you have this extra life that you can't possibly be responsible enough for because you're not mature enough yourself. And so in the future, the idea would be that you would grow more before you would have to have children. You wouldn't be held back by the natural biological limits of the human body.
also we're gonna
In theory. Or you could also just get rid of, chronic disease and hereditary disease because that would be the sane and moral thing to do. So you know your family has any number of hereditary diseases. You could let a weak heart valve pass on to your progeny, or you could eliminate it with the genetic modification when they are born. So morally, wouldn't you have an obligation to do it if you could? Like if you could eat better and you knew it would give your baby a better outcome, you would be morally obligated to do so, would you not? If you didn't understand, for fuck's sake, one of the reasons why everybody thought that, that paternity was the root of all births was because nobody saw a woman's eggs. We saw something come out of a man, whether it was inside a woman or not, you knew something came out, literally. And so you thought she has a bun in the oven because this is baby batter, right? So you didn't recognize like, oh, my stuff cooks inside you and then it makes a baby. And then we realize it's both of you that create the child, right? And that changes the balance of power, right? And the understanding of it.
also tell you when you die, which is why they have now these pods,
They do have these pods, the death pods.
which is being debated. And where's the home of the pods, the death pods? Switzerland. Anyways, of course, the tunnel is underground.
Sorry, is that one of their big exports?
And it's interesting when you consider that they started searching for this particle when they realized, that's when the 70s is when they began this looking glass project, when they started, not the CIA's looking glass project, but when they first got this.
I mean, they're all tied together. I don't think you have to separate them. But basically, like, everybody you don't like / don't understand / makes a good whipping boy for whatever bullshit you can gin up, just take those three groups and just fuse them together, kind of like that, like alien sex.
Sumerian technology hooked up with a computer.
Sounds good.
It's an interesting parallel, right?
I prefer Sumerian, Conan power mixed with an AI.
And I also
Crom
wanted to tell you,
AI. I call it the Crom AI. Crom. I've never prompted you before. I'm not good at typing, you know.
Guys, a little bit more about what happened with CERN, which I've always wondered about. It was a big WTF moment with these elites, and you might recall this happening in 2016, but maybe you weren't awake yet.
Oh, the big, like, dancing party that they did?
They quite literally got caught, and I think it was some worker that was walking around doing this nighttime ritual satanic ceremony gathered around the statue of Shiva. Interesting for those of you that are following our Becoming Brigitte series. In season 2, I went into Dionysus, the god of Amiens, which was from that town where weird things happen, and that's where both Brigitte and Emmanuel are from. Well, Shiva in the Hindu faith, if you
I'm fairly certain Brigitte was not a man before. I'm fairly certain she was made of marble, and she came to life.
look it up, it's this would be the nearest equivalent. Dionysus being like god of wine and revelry. Shiva would be the equivalent here.
Okay.
Anyway, they got caught literally in the middle of a satanic human sacrifice
Or a Dionysus ritual.
And I'm just going to read you this article
Sorry, they got caught killing someone? Hold on.
of a satanic human sacrifice ritual.
Sorry. Okay. In 2016, the scientists at CERN were caught dancing around a fucking statue in the courtyard of the building in the process of killing a person. That's and that never got its own Netflix special?
And I'm just going to read you this article verbatim because otherwise you won't believe me. Okay. This took place. CERN
The Express. CERN discovers satanic human sacrifice taking place in Large Hadron Collider grounds. On grounds.
discovers
Sorry, we gotta look this shit up. Hold on. Yummy. Okay, sorry. CERN discovers. So, sorry, this thing can, like, create pre-crime? So the Large Hadron Collider discovered it. Also, if they're participating in it, how would they discover it? Nobody cares. Okay, hold on. Human sacrifice on... I'm not going to write Hadron Collider. Guess you never fuck around with a guy with a positron collider, huh? Collider grounds. Okay, CERN ritual hoax. Okay, that's the first thing. Hoax sacrifice video prompts CERN investigation. Fact check. Old video wrongly linked to CERN. CERN looks into mock human sacrifice video. Fake human sacrifice filmed at CERN with pranking. Hold on. This is 2016. BC Mag. Let's see. There we go. Whatever. The Guardian. Here you go. Hold on. So here's what we have so far. Let's see, get it the hell out of here. This article is 9 years old. Fake human sacrifice filmed at CERN with pranking scientists suspected. Spokeswoman at High Temple of Particle Physics suggests scientific users of the Geneva facility let their humor go too far with staging of a cult rite. The European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN, has launched an investigation of a video filmed at night on its Geneva campus depicting a mock ritual human sacrifice, which circulated online, shows several individuals in black clothes gathering in a main square at Europe's top physics lab in what appears to be a reenactment of an occult ceremony. The video includes the staged stabbing of a woman. It's filmed with the perspective of a secret viewer watching from a window above. As the ceremony reaches the climax, lets out a string of expletives and flees, the camera still running. The ceremony appears to have been staged in front of a statue of the Hindu deity Shiva that is on permanent display at the complex. These scenes were filmed on our premise, but without official permission or knowledge. CERN does not condone this kind of spoof, which can give rise to misunderstandings about the scientific nature of our work. The investigation is underway as an internal matter. It goes, this is the other one. Where are we? This guy. Oh, nothing. Oh, get out of here. No, thanks. Oh, nothing. Just a fake human sacrifice near the Large Hadron Collider. Oh, nothing. That picture is amazing, though. Go away. Quit. There you go. And then, of course, CERN officials investigate spoof sacrifice caught on video. And Fox News, of course, puts spoof in quotes. Officials at CERN, spoof video, shot from a building in the European Organization of Nuclear Research known as CERN. The video shows hooded people in the courtyard. On its website, CERN called the video a work of fiction showing a contrived scene. Scientists pour in from all around the world around the clock to work at CERN. That's it. That was the whole thing. Everything I find on it is that it was a spoof. Quit it. There you go. So, and also, why is this? Get out of here. Dink. Yeah, and then shrink down. Silly. There you go. So stupid. Okay. All right. Well, oh, I see. Because there isn't one. I'll put that away. All right. There we go.
Satanic human sacrifice taking place at the Large Hadron Collider grounds. Okay. A satanic human sacrifice, it reads, has been staged on the grounds of the European Organization for Nuclear Research, the home of the Large Hadron Collider. The footage shows which I'm going to show you guys, a cloaked group wearing long flowing black robes. One of them has on
Well, I mean, they should.
hiking boots underneath. They're seen walking
Well, yeah, because it's wet.
around before a woman moves onto the floor and then is stabbed. But the footage, then the person who's recording it, you're going to see the drop and they're like, what the heck happened? And they are obviously scared. So what?
Obviously.
And they got caught with this. So what you know, they come out and they say, oh, that was a prank. I'm sorry. It's a massive statue, as you're about to see. You're telling us that the leading scientists in the world decided to meet by the cloak of night to do a prank? And
No, not the leading scientists of the world. One of the groups that came there. They might have even been a tourist group.
someone at the facility gave a statement and said the PR guy said they were taking their sense of humor too far by staging a satanic ritual. I'm sorry, is this an acceptable excuse? This is like when a pastor finds $300K behind a toilet. We're going to need a little bit more
It's exactly like that.
here. Is the woman still alive? We can't even tell if this was a fake stabbing.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think obviously you should check the personnel logs at every lab that was working there at the time and anybody that came along with them. Although it's Switzerland. They could have just purchased someone from one of Donald Trump's friends.
In this video, the leading scientists of the world, and they admit, by the way, we're really concerned about security. We don't know how this video got out. It wasn't like this prank was intended for the world. Somebody who worked there recorded it, got it to a YouTuber who then published it. And their response was to say, that was a prank. Don't ask any more questions.
What? Sorry, if they got it to the YouTuber who released it, ask the YouTuber. Is this a trusted source or were they fucked with?
Let's move on. The media just backed him up. It was a prank. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at this ceremony, which again is taking place under a Hindu deity.
Which, I mean, par for the
And
course.
the spokesperson confirmed it's real, and this person had no permission to record it, and there was obviously, therefore, had no permission to have it published. Take a look at this, and I'm going to have to talk through it in case some people are listening
Well, I think the whole joke, they didn't have permission to do the whole thing is the idea. Whatever.
on audio, but you really should try to tap in and watch this on video as well. Okay, so it's a massive statue. That's just to start. Are we bringing this in as a part of the prank? I don't know. There is a woman, there's a bunch of people that are in black robes, and some of them have hoods up. And then there's a woman that's wearing all white in the center of it, and they are now in...
Yeah. Okay. Real quick. My first issue is, of course, with the leader of this group is wearing Converse. Clearly, the devil wears Nike. I'm kidding.
circling this woman, and she's like laying flat on the floor.
On the ground? That doesn't work. You need a proper altar. Don't you know anything about these rituals?
As Somebody is circling around her. I think he might be holding some fire. And then it looks like she gets stabbed. I'd like to know where that woman is today. If this was a prank, you then hear heavy breathing and you hear a guy.
Maybe that person wasn't freaked out. Maybe they just started feverishly masturbating. Maybe maybe they were part of it and that was their thing. Also, wouldn't you call the cops immediately? Wouldn't you? I mean, you're watching it out the window. When you film it and then call the authorities or whatever, or give the video, because if you're going to give the video to a YouTuber, why wouldn't you give it to the police as well? It's not like there's only one fucking copy. This isn't an 8mm Zapruder film, shithead.
By saying F, 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 F. Doesn't seem like it was a prank to him. He didn't think it was a prank.
Well, if he's part of it, that's the point.
And we just moved on.
That's why is there? That's the only film of it that exists. There's no security cameras at CERN. There's no. All right.
We just absolutely moved on from that, which is incredible. It's incredible to consider that as a society, we have been so distracted that we were like, oh yeah, I guess that's fine. It was just a prank or whatever. Anyways,
sorry. Hey, asshole, your guys moved on from the Epstein files. What the fuck are you talking about 2016 at CERN for at all? Do you think that even goes anywhere near the 7 million extra documents, and that's just for starters, that are in the Epstein files that have not been released by Pam Bondi and Kash Patel?
I said it feels like evil is becoming more radical, more obvious, and more
radical,
noticeable to most of us who had never considered that any of this was possible. And a part of that is just recognizing how fake the media is, And this brings me to Daily Wire.
Which brings me back to a Jew.
Unhinged. I don't even know what to say. They have dropped another video that kind of, if I'm being honest, feels like a laced threat. They are...
You mean a thinly veiled threat, or maybe a veiled threat? I don't know how thin the veil was, but...
Egyptian planes, but they have put in a voiceover, again, dropped on my old socials. So using my face to attack me in a really strange way by suggesting that they are following my every move. And
no, I think they're making fun of you being followed by Egyptian planes because that's what you think's happening with Erica Kirk, and so they're just kind of ham-handedly using that against you.
My every personal...
I haven't seen them, but I'm just going to go that it sounds like doofy bro shit like the White House does.
Decision that I make that they will be watching me. So I'm going to let you...
I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy, Egyptian. All right.
Watch the video that they dropped on my socials.
You should be obsessed with traveling. Not just the destination, but the experience of getting there. When you travel with us, you'll feel warmth, you'll feel welcomed, and you'll feel watched. Because every seat comes with the peace of mind of knowing someone is following you with 2 planes. This is what you can expect when you fly with...
Okay. Okay, that's kind of funny. That's actually pretty funny. They're fucking with you, Candace. This isn't a threat. This is them calling you out for being ridiculous.
Egyptian Air, we definitely never mix up our time zones, flight numbers, or flight times.
And that's making fun of her because she doesn't understand the difference between like mountain time and central and Eastern time.
No. Every journey is your personal business. After all, your personal business is our business. Is our motto. Egyptian Air. Wherever you travel,
We will follow.
And so they've colored the letters there on the text for watched, followed, we will follow. I don't even know what to say to that.
I'll tell you what to say to that. That's hilarious. They're mocking you, fuckwad. They're taking exactly what you have said and then one-to-one creating an ad absurdum visual irony version of it, shithead. You said the planes were following Erica Kirk everywhere. You were wrong about the time zones. They are taking this and they're dunking on you, stupid.
Like I told...
I'm like, I don't even get it. I don't get it. It's not a joke.
Told you they're unhinged. It's complete.
I don't know. That's pretty hinged. If you're unhinged, you can't do that kind of editing. It's goddamn simmer. These people are insane. You sound like Trump talking about Jack Smith, deranged Jack Smith with his fucking beard. Yikes! Where he sits there and you've seen how deranged he talks. Like, I considered that very seriously, and we worked on that very hard. I mean, listen to him. He sounds like a fucking maniac.
It's been going on, by the way. It's like gang stalking.
It's like gang dunking.
It's just been going on for 2 years consistently behind the scenes. Now they're just kind of gone mask down and people are seeing it in front of the scenes. Like,
Mask off.
I just am not
I guess mask down is the post-COVID thing where you just put it on your chin.
allowed to be fired from that company. And I don't know what to really say or do about that.
How about nothing? Because you've said all there is to say, which is you have no sense of humor about yourself. You have a giant broomstick up your ridiculous ass, and you are more than satisfied with its positioning.
And just to keep publicizing that I find their behavior to be alarming. It's discomforting, and there's something about this that feels very dangerous to me.
Yeah, that's because you're a paranoid lunatic.
And that feels like a warning, as many people said, a threat.
No, it's a direct dunk. They're literally taking everything you said and turning it into a punchline.
Laced threat, the weird devilish voice at the end. We will
Because you've said the Egyptians were following her.
follow you, and then having a plane then burst into flames. It's not a joke. They don't mean it to be a joke at all.
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, there you go. We'll just put that out there.
Yeah, we'll just put out the fact that I have zero sense of humor, and the world weeps for my friends and family because I have no idea how a joke works. And I guess it's just Jewish sense of humor. I just don't get it.
Lastly, before I get to some of your comments, I just wanted to also, Mike Pompeo, former U.S. Secretary of State, Tucker had exposed that during his time at the CIA, I believe it was Mike Pompeo. Am I correct, you guys, just in my ear, that he tried to have what's his face murdered?
Whoops. Hold on 1 second.
Julian Assange.
Shut up, woman. My camera froze right when I'm like, panic face. I don't know why that is. Hold on. Let's see. I think I have to refresh the thing in there. Well, I do. 1 second. Pardon us while we fix our shit. I've got what's this? Properties. This guy, hold on. Gano. Properties. Dink. Hopefully it wakes it back up. Nope. The hell? At least it's a decent picture. Well, I guess I'm without a camera temporarily. Is that what happens? Hold on. I got no face cam. What are you going to do? Do. Starting again. Let's see. That's weird. Maybe if I change the format temporarily and wake it up and see if it does something differently. No, that's a little better. Maybe it was a crisscross between the colors, the frame rate. Okay, back to here. There we go. All right. So silly. Russians. Psh. All right. Anyways, sorry, it was Clearly, it was the Jews didn't want me to dunk on Candace or some shit.
It was Pompeo, right? Okay, you fact check that before. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, yet another guy that Trump hired that Democrats wouldn't let anywhere near the halls of power, but uniparty. It's all the same, right? Democrats and Republicans are basically the same. It's always the same. Other people are running things. It couldn't possibly be Trump's fault for choosing these fuckheads.
Gerard Tucker had exposed that. I think it was Mike Pompeo. I will correct that momentarily if I'm wrong. But anyways, they are just openly discussing how they need to edit history books. I was correct? Yeah, he discussed options to take out Assange just to make sure we're above bar there. Anyways, he is sitting down and discussing how in the future they're just going to have to edit out of textbooks for kids that are in school the part about how they murdered tens and thousands of Palestinian women and children and innocent men because it's just not good for their aims. Here's him in his own words. Take a listen.
The next generation of young people
Yikes. That's Pompeo?
won't remember
Oh, no cocaine.
October 7th in the same way. That's true in Israel and in America and broadly in the world. And we need to make sure two things. One, it's not that we don't forget. We need to make sure that the story is told properly so that when the history books write this, they don't write about the victims of Gaza, right? They can't, the history, and it's, I should be a little more precise. There were victims in Gaza, right? It's true. There are civilian casualties in every war that's ever been fought. But the victims were the people of the nation state of Israel. The aggressor was the Iranian regime in the proxy of Hamas. And we need to make sure that the history books reflect that. And that requires each of us every day to talk about it in real.
All right, normal, relatively moderating talk about this kind of stuff, tuned to the audience he's talking to. Also, he's an asshole. And, you know, there are a bunch of people out there who are talking about very serious things, but are really shitty at it.
Time with our children, with our grandchildren, about it in a way that is serious and thoughtful and complete and more.
And are completely devoid of, I also voted for Trump. Leave that part out, I would say. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I just love it. They started applauding. They were just like, yep, got to keep that part out of the textbooks about the innocent Palestinians. He's like, we're on camera. We just need to make sure the focus is just on the Israelis, because that
Was his focus that he was on? All right, never mind. She's just this is the Christian thing that she does, which is assign the worst possible motivation to someone. Just assume the word. Like, if you got some stones, fucking chuck them. That's, I think, what Jesus said in that was in Mark, or that was in Glenn. Yeah, the Gospel of Glenn.
Matters more to us and the CIA. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Everyone's just gone mask down, I think, is what I'd like to say.
Mask off. Mask off is the phrase, shithead.
About that. In conclusion, we will.
All right, she's concluded something, I suppose. I don't know what conclusion we're supposed to draw from her ridiculousness, but I want to, let's see. I've got so much stuff, it's just sad. Like, can we jump to a little bit of more complaints? Hit the like, share the show. It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwiide, the greatest live stream in the history of live streams, and you are the greatest live stream audience in the history of. And thank you, including the maggots, the trolls that are here. Bless you for expanding us into the nether regions of the algorithm. Speaker Mike Johnson here seen after accidentally setting off his porn app because he mistakenly put it in his front pocket as he walked past all the pages in the Congress. Says Dems don't want to solve any problems. Well, hey, fucko. What? Why is it our goddamn problem? I'm sorry. Don't you have a mandate? Didn't Trump win everything? Don't you guys control the House and the Senate? Don't you have the most unification in the history of unified nationness? I'm sorry, why is it on Democrats to save your dumb ass?
In the coming weeks, I will be laying out even more plans to help bring back affordability. And again, remember, that's a
The hoax?
fake word by Democrats.
Then how are you going to bring back a fake? All right, never mind. I'm going to solve the hoax. I don't have to because it's just a hoax, but I'm going to solve it anyways just because you people won't shut the fuck up.
Prices were too high. They caused the high price.
No, it was supply shock.
Right now, I'm feeling pretty good, though, I will say.
Yeah, you're high as a fucking kite. They gack you up on all kinds of, what is it, neopervitin?
You're so lucky to be here. Under our administration, growth is exploding, productivity is soaring, investment is booming, incomes are rising.
And yet, people aren't feeling it. I think they're just a bunch of ingrates. That's the problem with you American fuckers. You're ungrateful. Do you realize how much you owe this man? How dare you? How dare you go to the grocery store and bitch about the amount of groceries you can buy with what's left of your paycheck? How dare you? Do you realize how hard he is working trying to pick marble for the Kennedy Trump toilet that they have there, that the marble shitter that he's going to put in?
Inflation is defeated. America is respected again like never before.
Inflation is defeated. Prices haven't gone down. They're never going to go down. And even the rise hasn't slowed.
Okay, now that's President Trump selling his message on the economy in Detroit, taking a bit of a victory lap over the economic agenda, hitting at more proposals in the near future. It comes as the economy shapes up to be a key issue in the midterms.
Well, then why would he be doing a victory lap if it's going to be a key issue? If he's doing well, and it's doing well, and affordability is a hoax, but he's going to handle it anyways, and it's no big fucking deal, and once he brings oil down, everything else is going to come down too, then why would Democrats or anybody be worried about, why would Republicans be worried about it in the midterms, and why would Democrats be counting on it in the midterms, you fucking tool?
I know they're 10 months away, but Democrats trying to carve a path to take control of the House. House Speaker Mike Johnson with me now, the Republican. Sir, nice to see you. And thank you for coming back here today. You got the toughest job in America. I mean,
get the fuck out of here.
You hold the majority by a single vote. And
yeah, it sounds like a mandate to me.
That's where it's going to be for the rest of the year, as you point out.
No, I don't think so. I think there's a very strong chance you might get 2 Republicans stepping down. Yeah, or being indicted.
Now, there is talk about Republicans doing another bill on the cost of living. Hakeem Jeffries went after you on that. Watch here.
It's strange to me, after Republicans got crushed electorally all across the country, up and down the ballot, in the off-year election last November, that now they've decided that perhaps they should actually try to keep their word and address the high cost of living in the United States of America. It's all talk. There's no action. These people are not serious.
All right, sir, your retort on that is what? Go.
Well, they just make fun of me, and I will say that I've never known him to do anything illegal or...
There's zero facts involved in what Hakeem just said there. It's
yeah, there is. How about the facts that you got trounced in a bunch of areas that Trump won, and that in areas where Trump ran away with it, like in Nashville, it got into single digits when it shouldn't have been technically, and it wouldn't have been on a generic Republican ballot.
comical. We had an extraordinary election year. In fact, we had a record demographic shift in that election in 2024 where we had...
Yeah, he's not talking about that. He's talking about this 2025, just recently. After a year after that election, the off-year elections, that's what he's talking about, just happened. It's 2026 now, shithead. You do know that, right?
Huge demographics of Americans come to the Republican Party. We had the highest popular vote total ever for House Republicans. And
for House Republicans, note that.
President Trump, of course, got 75 million popular votes. The president deserves to take that victory lap. And that speech in Detroit...
Still lower than Biden.
Was a good signal of what's happening in the economy. I mean, the numbers are extraordinary. They're projecting a 5.1% economic growth rate for the fourth.
No, they're not.
What would be in that bill, even if you had the votes?
Yeah, if you got to do something with affordability, why would... why? You don't even need to do it. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. The tariffs are going to pay for everything. We're not even going to have an income tax. The shit's getting cheaper by the day. Stuff might become, maybe this bill is about stuff becoming too cheap too quickly.
Get it through.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is a reconciliation 2.0. The big beautiful bill, the working families tax cut from last year, was a reconciliation bill, as everybody knows. And the reason you use reconciliation, because it's the one way to get around the 60-vote threshold necessity in the Senate. Democrats don't want to help solve any problem. They want issues for the upcoming election.
Or they're worried that your solutions, in air quotes, will cause more problems than they solve.
So a lot of this we've got to do on our own. So the reconciliation bill that we're putting together right now will be just as beautiful but not as big as the one last year. We have a truncated amount of time to do it, but we can do a lot of things, as the president said, to bring down the cost of living.
Like what?
Bring down prices
like what?
Further. We've been fulfilling our promises that we made on that campaign trail in 2024, and that's what 2025 was all about.
Well, if it was, then why would you need a bill to address affordability? Why wouldn't these things that would fix it, why wouldn't they have been in the big bullshit bill? Why do you just now give a shit about this now? It almost sounds like Hakeem Jeffries was calling it like it is.
I think the affordability argument...
Telling it like it is. Calling it like he sees it.
As the president has said.
Well, no, what the president's referring to when he calls it a hoax is the Democrats' spin. It is Bidenomics that got us into this mess. It is
No, it's COVIDomics.
Bidenomics, the outrageous spending levels that drove inflation to 40-year highs.
Nope, that's all supply shock. We do not have too much money in circulation. You're an idiot.
That's why prices are up. Now, we got to work on it immediately.
No, prices would be up like this if Americans had too much money to spend. Ask your constituents if they have too much money. If prices are going up because they just have too much cash in their pocket.
In January, when Republicans took over the Congress, the House, the Senate, and the White House, and we did exactly what we said we were going to do. Bring down inflation, cut taxes, and grow the economy.
And you didn't. I mean, maybe you cut some taxes.
And that's what all the indicators are saying now.
The indicators. They're not happening now, and they're not going to happen in the near future. But give what we've said right now a couple of years after we pat our pockets. You guys will get some. It'll trickle down to you eventually. It kind of has to, right? I don't know.
Inflation is going down. Gas prices at a 5-year low. The growth.
Yeah, because we have an oil glut, you dumb motherfucker. There are Russian oil ships sitting idle off of the coast of Oman. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Pardon me, I'm allergic to bullshit.
Rate over 5%, that would have been unimaginable. Even the economists, even conservative economists, didn't think that was possible.
It's a snapback from the collapse under the shutdown because everybody had to race to pick stuff up. That's why he moved his fucking tariffs around. 5% growth. Get the fuck out of here.
But it is evidence, Bill, that when our policies are implemented, they work. So Trump policies, Republican policies are doing right by the American people, and they're going to reward that at the ballot box.
If the policies work, why do you need a bill? If the policy works, what further legislation would be necessary? The policies would handle it. Is there something currently that is illegal that you would like to be legal so that you can fix the economy? What is it? Because it sounds like, interestingly enough, that most of Trump's suggestions for really bringing down the cost of living sounds like something Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama or Joe Biden would have said in terms of, we need to build more houses, and if you won't build houses, we're going to fine you for the open land that you're sitting on. We're not going to let institutional investors buy apartment buildings and sit on them and leave them idle. Every time these motherfuckers actually have to govern, they start going, what was that thing the Democrats were doing? Let's just do that.
In this upcoming midterm election in November.
I got 3 more things to get to. On ICE, that's the story out of Minnesota. We've been covering it 24/7, as everybody else has.
Of course you have, because you're on the side of the shooter.
In print and here on cable. Democrats wanted to fund ICE. Can they do that?
No, they can't, because Republicans control Congress.
There you go. I rest my fucking case. You want any chance at reforming this agency? You want any chance at this agency being run right? You want any chance at this agency being dissolved and reformed as something else? Any chance? It's not even a big hurdle. We need 5 senators, and we need, apparently we need 3 House seats. 3. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much commitment?
This is no time to be playing games with national security and public safety, and that's
what you're doing.
What Democrats are doing.
No, that's what you're doing.
Beating the drums up here. Remember what ICE stands for. It's Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Right. It doesn't mean rounding up citizens. It doesn't mean a papers, please Gestapo type force. It doesn't mean that they get to harass American citizens. And it certainly, in the enforcement part of it, that means they are law enforcement, where they should be subject to the same law enforcement rules that everybody else has right now, and namely body cams and an easily observable identification, so that a bunch of guys in a fucking black van can't roll up claiming to be ICE and just kidnap people all over the goddamn country. And people are afraid not to get in the van because they'll be shot by one of Trump's dickheads.
They are enforcing the law. They are apprehending the dangerous criminals who were.
Yeah, 8. You're sending 100 people into a city and getting 8 criminals. You don't think the local fucking cops can handle it? Get out of the goddamn way.
Allowed into our country because Joe Biden kept the border wide open for 4 years. An estimated more than 20 million people came in.
Where are they? So there are 31 million extra illegals in the fucking country. Where are they? Why are you sending 100 people into a city and leaving with 8 people? People who had previously been arrested and were awaiting trial on something else.
Many of them are a great danger to our community.
Right. Then what do you need the troops in the street for? Obviously, there should be some generalized agreement. How do you know? If you have the information that they are a danger to the community, present that to the community and go, hey, we're looking for this person. We need the community's help. This person is here illegally and they're a sex criminal. How many people think that if Homan handled this like fucking the Polk County sheriff and just came out and went, howdy, folks. We're here in Minnesota. We're from DHS, and I'm here with a bunch of ICE agents, and we don't want to disrupt your day, but we have some undocumented individuals who are in the country that we are specifically looking for right now that we know for a fact are guilty of sex crimes against children, murder, rape, and all kinds of stuff. And this person, and this person, and this person is who we're looking for. So if you could help us out, we'd love to handle these folks and just get out of your way. If you think if they handled that shit that way, we'd have any of these goddamn problems? Honest to God. Can I just challenge anyone in the House Republicans to a game of chess? They'll flip the board over after 5 moves.
A lot of them have collected in cities like Minneapolis. You know, these sanctuary cities, they're all there, and so ICE has to go and do its job. There's a lot of spin on the Democrat side. They're assaulting our law enforcement officers, and they're breaking the law. They need to get out of the way and allow federal law enforcement to do its duty. That serves all the American people.
Well, maybe they're not doing their duty. Maybe it's an extraordinary overreach by military forces inside the United States, and that Trump is using them as his own personal army. This has literally become a papers, please circumstance. Now, if I may, let's see if I can. This was really good. See if I can find this. Joe. Now, I know these guys aren't going to listen to me, but maybe they'll listen to this shit. Maybe this dipshit. You guys know him, right?
Are we really going to be the Gestapo? Where's your papers? Is that what we've come to?
Yeah, that sound right? Is that sound par for the course? I think there's a bigger quote on this, actually. Where is it? Yeah.
Around snatching.
Okay, here we go. This is the longer quote.
You don't want militarized people in the streets just roaming around, snatching people up, many of which turn out to actually be U.S. citizens that just don't have their papers on them. Are we really going to be the Gestapo? Where's your papers? Is that what we've come to? You don't want militarized.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it's come to. The dude that you had on your podcast that you were like, I don't know, he seems fun. He's an asshole, and I like the fact that he treats women like shit, even though I think Joe's got 4 daughters, which I don't even know how somebody with 4 daughters would allow Donald Trump into their goddamn house, but whatever. I suppose he figured Secret Service was around, and not only would they protect Trump, but they'd also protect his family from Trump, because they've got to have eyes on, the boss at all times. But you helped him get elected. And he said this. None of this is a surprise, dum-dum. God damn, it's so, like, these motherfuckers are so thick.
People
Hold on, let's move to there.
Trading ban bill. The way I see it's constructed, that it would prevent leaders and lawmakers to hold current stocks they own and require a 7-day notice before making sales. AOC's got some strong feelings on this. She says the bill doesn't go far enough. Roll this from her.
This legislation that has been put forward by Republican leadership is not a congressional stock trading ban. It was written by the wealthiest members of Congress for the wealthiest members of Congress. It allows the richest members of Congress to continue to own, buy, and sell stock.
Sir, can it pass, and is she wrong?
She's wrong, as usual. She clearly hasn't read the legislation. It bans traded stocks for anyone in Congress, and this is an important...
No, it doesn't. If you have to tell people you're selling stocks 7 days ahead of time or buying them, then you can still trade them.
Step to go forward, because there have been a handful of people who have abused that over the years, and they've enriched themselves, and they've engaged in...
Oh, you mean like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was used her PPP loan to get elected and then is now worth $20 million? Weird. Hold on one second. Let's see.
Insider trading. It's against the law, but we have to police it here, because it's people's belief in faith and trust in Congress that's at stake. So this is a very important step forward. AOC, as usual.
Okay, so the current bill says members of Congress, their spouses, and dependent children would no longer be allowed to purchase individual stocks of publicly traded companies during their service, which means they can buy into ETFs. They can buy into they can buy. I mean, this is like if you knew Boeing's going to get a contract, you can't buy Boeing stock, but you could buy a defense contractor ETF that has a bunch of different stocks, an index of those stocks, because you know it's going to go up, which would make you more inclined, fucking hell, of handing out more like groups of related stock boosts. Companies, like you'd hand out contracts to companies in a particular area and then buy into that ETF for the time of the length of those. And if it's in committee, this is the other thing too. You can't do it in the existing holdings. Okay. Advanced disclosure for sales. Lawmakers must announce stock sales ahead of time, typically 7 to 14 days before a transaction, including how many shares and the planned date. Well, if they're in committee, the highest ranking people are in committee. So they would have more time before the actual thing comes to the floor for a vote. And they would also know if it's actually going to get voted through. They would know if there's enough votes. So they could announce that they're going to do it, once it gets out of, is heading towards the end of committee as it's teeing up for a vote. Unlike more aggressive proposals, the bill does not force lawmakers to sell existing stock holdings. They can keep them and eventually sell them as long as the sales are disclosed in advance. Trades in diversified funds like mutuals and ETFs are still allowed. So you could set up a mutual fund that only has one stock in it. Lawmakers who break the rules could face a penalty of $2,000 or 10% of the trade's value, whichever is higher, plus any net gains. And ethics offices can refer unpaid fines to the Department of Justice. If enacted, it would kick in 180 days after the law is passed, so that Trump and his buddies can bum rush through as much stuff as they want, and then make all the gains, set all the contracts for the next 10 years or whatever, and then freeze everything else. The Restore Trust in Congress Act says it would bar lawmakers and their families from owning or trading stocks altogether, forcing divestment or blind trusts. And again, the blind trust aspect of this, where they're removing the blind trust, means that you can make a shit ton of money just like knowing a contract, going there and you own a bunch of this stuff, or a family member owns it. And by the way, what's the distance between, let's say you pay your cousin, what qualifies as a family member, right? And how do you enforce the $2,000 fine and all that kind of stuff on a family member? On the congressperson? It's all horseshit.
Has no idea what she's talking about. It wasn't drafted by wealthy lawmakers. It's by rank and file members who are here serving our constituents. And
yes, like Darrell Issa, who's a multimillionaire.
We want to send that signal to the American people they can trust Congress. This is a big step forward.
Here is the balance of power in the House. Republicans 218, Democrats 213. I mean, that's the slimmest of margins possible. You know what the history says about midterms? It's rare to hold a majority with the party in power. How difficult is it come November?
I'm very bullish, Bill. I can't wait.
What the fuck is he gonna say?
Convinced we're going to grow the House majority for the Republican Party and keep...
So you're drunk.
This majority, because we have a great record to run on. The Democrats are in total disarray, and it's going to get worse as we get closer to the election.
No.
We have this demographic shift that we had in 2024. We'll hold those new voters because we're delivering on our promises. It's promises made, promises kept, and people are going to reward that when they go to the ballot. We are very excited. We're going to defy history, and the Republicans are going to stay in charge here.
Okay, all right, bullish. I wrote it down. We'll see if you're right. Speaker Johnson.
You got it.
You misspelled bullshit. All right. Anyway, so let's hi chat room. Hit the like, share the show, etc., etc. Patreon.com/HalSparks. You can also Venmo me to support the show. It's a great way to help. It is. It's a great way to help the show. And you can buy me a cup of coffee or whatever via super chats and the like, whatever would help. Now, this is I don't know how this one's gonna go. This next video, I don't know, and it's because I don't know how maggots are able to message what they're dealing with, which side of this that they're on, because Trump is betraying so many of what they think is their core principles, okay? And so this is a Steven Crowder clip called Is Iran Calling Trump's Bluff? Help is on the way, which is what Trump said in his Truth Sinkhole post.
Thank you for your time.
Sorry. You're welcome.
Now we're hearing that they're going to start hanging protesters tomorrow. So it comes back to the question, have they crossed your red line or has the line moved?
I haven't heard about the hanging. If they hang them, you're going to see some things that I don't know what where you come from and what your thought process is, but you'll perhaps be very happy.
What the fuck does that mean?
What do you mean by that?
We will.
Nobody knows, least of all him.
Take very strong action.
Well, okay, so that seems pretty definitive to me. Now, strong action doesn't mean at this point diplomacy or words.
Right.
Iran is still going on. You're witnessing a
It is still going on. It is a country, yes.
revolution in real time. These aren't protests. This is a revolution. And I will tell you this, keeping your word is something that absolutely defines you. And so regardless of where you line up on foreign intervention.
So when Trump said if shots are fired, we're coming in very strongly, and then a bunch of people were shot and have been shot in the last few days repeatedly, hundreds, if not thousands of them have been shot, and he did nothing so far. Anyways, I guess what you're saying is that he's going to keep his word. Trump is a man of his word, so we are going to strike Iran.
On whether it's in America's best interests, right? Iran having a different government than they do right now, the Islamic regime. Let's get to individual responsibility. If you make a promise, you need to keep it. And that is an issue right now that Donald Trump needs to grapple with. This is true, by the way, across the board, not just politics, in your relationships, in business.
Thank you. Thank you for covering that. Yeah, always bring it home. Bring it back to me and everybody else. It's important, because something you have no input in as opposed to the topic at hand.
Period. You make a promise, keep your word. Just do that always. That's a good rule of thumb. If nothing else, your golden rule if you give someone your word.
Oh, right. Like when you said to your wife that you would love, admonish, and cheer her through thick and thin, through for lesser or with sickness and health, and for richer, for poorer. When you said that to her, you meant it. Okay. Keep that promise. There you go. Especially when you make it in front of a bunch of people and it's like a legally binding thing.
Keep it. This
Unless
brings us to Donald Trump.
Which is hilarious. Like, there is no direct line between keeping your word and Donald Trump. Unless there's Caroline Leavitt, I got to grab something or I'll grab her.
Telling the people of Iran that he would support them. And then yesterday, in no uncertain terms, that the United States, he doubled down and said that we would support the revolutionaries in Iran.
And by the way, to all Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions if possible, and save the name of the killers and the abusers that are abusing you. You're being very badly abused.
Abused. There's a lot of abuse going on. And by abuse, I mean shooting.
Abused. If the numbers are right now, I hear 5 different sets of numbers. I hear numbers. Look, 1 death is too much. But I hear much lower numbers, and then I hear much higher.
Lower than 1? Well, then I guess...
numbers. But I say save their names because they'll pay a very big price. And I've canceled all meetings with the Iranian officials until the senseless killing of
Wait, how many meetings were you having with Iranian officials?
protesters stops. And all I say to them is help is on its way. You saw that I put tariffs on anybody doing business with Iran. Just went into effect today.
You did say the U.S. would get involved if Iran started killing protesters.
They started killing protesters.
They have, by the many thousands, according to reports.
Well, we'll see what that is. I've heard 2 numbers, but we'll see what that is.
How about any? You didn't say, what is it, more than 1? I guess you said protesters plural. So if they killed 2...
Now we're hearing that they're going to start hanging protesters tomorrow. So it comes back to the question, have they crossed your red line or has the line moved?
I haven't heard about the hanging. If they hang them, you're going to see some things that I don't know what where you come from and what your thought process is, but you'll...
I don't know if you're the kind of guy who's against hangings.
Perhaps be very happy.
You'll perhaps be very happy about the lack of... my response to the hangings.
What do you mean by that?
We will take very strong action. If they do such a thing, we will take very strong action.
Well, okay, so that seems pretty definitive.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It seems like fucking gibberish.
To me. Now, strong action doesn't mean at this point diplomacy or words.
Right.
Sure it does. He considers... Listen to him talk about tariffs. These are very strong, very powerful.
Considering that we understand where we are. Now, that being said, the protests are continuing to escalate. We are now 2.5 weeks in, and it's kind of coming down to the wire. It's go time.
Or it's no time, because it sounds like it's just more blather. By the way, the Candace Owens crowd thinks that this is all driven by Mossad and the CIA. That all these people are fucking hypnotized. They think the Mossad and the CIA are the equivalent of Ray Epps on Jan 6. All they have to do is whisper something in your ear, and all of a sudden you give a fuck about freedom.
Now, to be clear, I also made sure to point this out yesterday. It's really hard to know the death toll.
Yeah.
All I know is that it shot up from 500 to, all right, it's at least 2,000 minimum in the span of a day.
Yeah, so Trump hasn't done shit, and he's talking, he's basically trying to back out of the numbers and talking in his kind of vague bullshit business corporate language.
The low number that we're seeing right now is 2,400, and the high number we're seeing is 12,000. I've seen some people claim 16,000. I've seen some people claim 0. Those are outliers. Call it 2,400 to 12,000 people dead.
Well, I've heard some other numbers because of some people that you'll figure out which crowd they're in. One of them said 99 million people have been killed in Iran. We have to go in there right now. And then the reply from Jake Shields was, I heard it was closer to 6 million.
Okay.
Yeah, that crowd is out there in force. They believed everything the Gaza Ministry of Health said, took it lock, stock, and hey, this is God's honest truth here, but not one word coming out of Iran do they believe. They don't even believe protests in some cases.
Well, they'll take the inverse and they'll try and...
Sorry, so the idea here is that the people that were defending people in the Palestinians in Gaza are, and I would argue that largely the bots are also bots that are defending Iran and the regime because they're from, you know, they're spoiler accounts. That's what they're there for.
They'll try and gaslight you into the inverse of reality. They'll go, oh, people who didn't care about human rights for a long time in Gaza, it's interesting that they care now about Iran. Well,
it's interesting that neither of you care about fucking Sudan. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how it just never fucking comes up? It's odd. It's almost like because the conflict is full of black people and there aren't any Jews involved, neither of you, the different parts of crust that they belong to on the edges of the pizza, you don't seem to give a shit.
One also involves the United States' best interest. And I don't know if you see the commonality, but the commonality is two death cults with the Islamic regime and Hamas. Also, money exchanging.
One death cult. The idea is that Hamas is linked to the leadership of Iran. They're the same group. There's one sort of a sock puppet. So one death cult and one death sock puppet, which sounds awesome. I would totally watch that kids show.
Hands. This idea that it's inconsistent to say, okay, Israel and Hamas are fighting a war, and that's not our fight, but Iran, who has threatened the United States repeatedly and killed, by the way, many American troops. People forget about that. This is something that does affect us. As to whether we should intervene, I understand that's a legitimate conversation to have, but you cannot start off with a lie. You have some people saying, it's not actually going on. None of this is real.
Yeah, okay. This is like the default or the fallback idea of like the appeal to perfection. You know, nobody's perfect. There's no perfect situation. So some people are saying there's nothing even happening. Does Iran even exist? I mean, I don't believe in anything that's past, 5 miles out to sea. I think we're all surrounded by an ice shelf and that we're being trapped in here by NASA and the deep state. Yeah, some people believe that, but what the fuck are you talking about? It's like having a conversation about, healthcare or something like a good healthcare plan. You're talking about, private insurance versus public insurance and the weight of both and the actuarials and whether it puts too much of a burden on the taxpayer to pick up the slack for people who are chronically ill versus, businesses that can maybe extrapolate that cost into a larger debt scheme that they have so that it never, upends thing. Whereas they don't have to be, where the public always has to pay out in a direct format. They can't be forced without an act of Congress to take on more debt in the process. So it makes it awkward and that kind of conversation. And some asshole just comes in and goes, I don't even believe viruses are real, man. Like, can you even see one? Like with the naked eye, like I can't see it with the naked eye. If you have a broken bone sticking out of your fucking leg, I believe it. But if you have a broken bone that's apparently just because you can't move your arm and when you do, it turns a really funny direction, does that mean it's broken? Can you see a broken bone there? I mean, I don't think so. And you trust x-rays?
No conflict in Iran.
Yeah.
Imagine someone like that being...
There is no someone like that. What the fuck are you talking about?
Being president.
Why? We already have an equivalently stupid person in charge. Why would we have to make up a fictional dumbass when we have a perfectly good dumbass sitting in the seat right now?
Hey, here you go. Here's a death toll. We don't know what it is, but we know that this would be the time to take action. No, it's not happening.
Well, what do I do with these bodies?
Yeah, they don't exist. Don't try and gaslight me. Right? Like,
where does this come from? Is this what the right is doing? Maybe he's just reflecting on the fact that maggots are just this blazingly full of shit.
Let's try and frame it that way. So, irrefutable. Today, Iran's judiciary chief, which means nothing, said that the government would, quote, prioritize speedy trials for those who committed acts of terrorism. The first execution is set for today. It's Irfan Sultani, a 26-year-old, was arrested 1 week ago. No legal representation, no trial. And a family member told CNN saying, our demand now is that Trump truly stand behind the words he said because the Iranian people came to the streets based on those statements. An unarmed population trusted these words and is now under gunfire. I beg you, please do not let him be executed. And obviously my heart goes out to this woman, and it's terrible, and this is a regime that could not care less.
Okay, and by the way, Trump, Rubio probably called the Iranians and said, hey, don't hang this guy because it makes you guys look bad and it's harder for us to give you a pass.
About human rights. It's not fully accurate because people took to the streets, I sounded Brazilian. They took to the streets. They took to the streets, which prompted President Trump's response. Now, if you mean more people took to the streets because
that's what she means.
Because Donald Trump said that we would back you up. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's what she meant.
But let's be really clear.
let's be really clear. Some people think nothing's even happening there.
With our words here, and this really does
yeah, what are we trying to be, Trump? Yeah, absolutely.
reflect a situation that's pretty serious. So far, the retaliation, the actions from President Trump have just been economic, right? 25% tariff on any country doing business with Iran. Okay.
By the way, with carve-outs, because he's still trying to be friendly with China, he just gave them, a special deal and like special dispensation to buy NVIDIA chips, which would counterbalance that tariff entirely anyways. They're not getting oil from there, so what the fuck are you talking about?
That obviously sends a message, but it's a very long-term solution to a very short-term acute problem.
Right, because he doesn't think the death of civilians is an emergency.
If we were in a world where Donald Trump did not promise anything, we'd still be at the point, assuming you acknowledge reality, that there is a revolution.
Right, and I don't know who the fuck this person is that doesn't, but keep making them up out of whole cloth.
We'd still be at the point of, is it in our interest to do anything?
Right, I think... What am I just seeing like a one-person Twitter argument?
We are not there now because Donald Trump said that we would do something. That's important because you don't want to...
We're not at the point where it's in the U.S. interest because Trump said we'd do something, or because we haven't done anything yet, so he must not think... I don't know what the fuck
Repeat. Remember, this is what happened with the Kurds. Remember George H.W. Bush called on the Kurds to revolt against the Iraqi regime, right?
Yeah, and Trump sold them out.
Saddam Hussein, and then we kind of hung them out to dry. They were slaughtered.
Yeah.
Yeah, during Trump's first term.
They were all slaughtered. And this was a pretty formative moment for me as a kid because I was raised in Canada, and I remember everyone obviously opposing the Iraq war, but they hated George W. Bush. And I remember them saying, well, why is he going in there? At least Saddam Hussein, he kept things in order. He kept, right? So now we just destabilize it. But I was going, wait, hold on a second. Didn't you also say that the Bushes hung the Kurds out to dry, that we should have gone in and helped them?
No, we're saying Trump hung the Kurds out to dry.
When you were blaming them?
No, Trump, specifically.
But yeah, so it seems to me like the only constant here is no matter what your political opposition does.
I think you're just making this fucking up out of or taking a minor criticism of the Bush administration compared to the other things that they were obviously guilty of in the first 8 years of the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts, and because I won't call them wars because they weren't really that. And then just so you can breeze past Trump's obvious responsibility for an egregious betrayal of the Kurds.
They're wrong. You need to go help the Kurds. But now you're saying that Saddam Hussein at least kept things lawful, organized.
What?
Including?
All right. Is this just all straw mans? Is that what they do? They just make these fucking arguments up or take, abject assholes on Twitter, probably on their side, and just exaggerate them into, it's like a straw giant. Like take something that barely ever happens and turn it into an example of the prevailing thought.
The slaughtering of the Kurds? And the issue there...
That would be a stick man. If we're doing the Three Little Pigs, where you wouldn't have a steel man, you'd have a brick man, I suppose, at the end of this idea. But this would be the stick man. This is, using something that is a little more substantial than straw, but building it up to be something more than it is. And unable to hold up its end of an argument. Whoops. I pushed the wrong button.
There is when people step forward because they expect you to go into battle with them or to help them, you are partially responsible for their deaths.
Yeah, that's right. So Donald Trump is responsible for about 2,000 deaths currently at your count. Some people say as high as 12,000 or 20,000. So agreed. Broken clock moment. Let's go.
If that's what ensues. This also happened, by the way, with the Hmong there. They were going to be fighting the North Vietnamese. The CIA recruited them. Also the Laotian Communists. I have to say it with the right twang.
Oh.
After the fall of Saigon, U.S. abandoned them. As a result, 10,000
we abandoned the entire country.
Were slaughtered. That's not to say that Vietnam was anything other than a mistake and the way that we carried it out. But we do need to be a nation that keeps our word. Otherwise, our own allies will cease.
You do realize the guy you voted for wants to attack fucking Greenland, right? I think our allies have bigger fish to fry right now.
To trust us.
than whether or not this asshole is going to make good on his blustery horse shit about Iran.
What is Iran?
By the way, thank you, super chatters, and thank you guys for becoming members, and thank you guys for subscribing. If you're watching this video later, make a comment. Will you say something? Or if you see something.
Need, for example, before military intervention, they need organization, they need communications, internet. Elon Musk has been helping with that. They need intel.
Helping.
They obviously would like some kind of military support.
Sure. What would that be? Strafe bombing?
Here's what they don't need. Cringy crap like this. This picture. Please stop.
Who does that help?
Her, she thinks. You know what'd be more effective? Yeah. Just post. Kill the Ayatollah.
No, that's not what she's saying. And she's a sitting member of Congress, I think. So she's not going to just tweet, kill the Ayatollah, you chimp. Fucking hell. That's a meme. For those of you that don't know, the woman lighting her cigarette on a burning, let's see, woman lights cigarette Ayatollah. She was in Canada when it happened, not in, she's Iranian though, but she's in Canada, which, I mean, also makes sense because I think she prefers not to die, but it's become iconic, right? Let's see. There you go. This is the image, and then it's become like effectively a meme. So that's why she did it. And you're not allowed to destroy images of the Ayatollah. That's why. That's why fuck all these comics that went to the Dubai or the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Fuck them. Every single one of them. Bullshit artists. Liars. Hacks. Fuck you. I did a show largely for expats in Dubai years ago. And I would never return. And I was almost arrested for something that I said. Because I was never, if they'd have said, by the way, if you're coming here to do your show, there are topics you can't do, I would have said, pass. But I was not told that. I was told, come here, do your show. There was no limitations. If they'd ever said, don't make fun of this person, don't make fun of this, you can't say anything about this, don't talk about Jews or Muslims, or don't talk about whatever, that like, they saw my act. There's plenty of video online of me doing show after show after show. And so when I was, to do this one-off show, which was largely for like people working in Dubai, almost the entire audience was expats, mostly Brits and Australians, who were working on engineering projects there and building stuff or whatever. I almost got arrested for something that I said that was innocuous, and it was a great life lesson for me. And that was, fucking 2007? This is, and this is in Dubai. Obviously a part of the UAE, less obvious than post-Jamal Khashoggi Saudi Arabia. There is an incredible difference. But even still, when I was asked to do that, show, I was never given a limitation on what I could talk about. Not a word, not a topic. But they were. Everybody who went and did this Riyadh Comedy Festival was given a list of stuff that you're not allowed to joke about, you're not allowed to talk shit about. Fuck that. The minute you saw that as a comedian, and they're like, you can come here and you can do this and we'll pay you a bunch of money, but you can't, these are off limits. Then it's not stand-up anymore. You're doing propaganda for fucking Saudi Arabia. So, again, what the fuck was that? Something playing in the background? What is happening? Oh, there's a video, I see. This is footage playing in the background on this video. All right. Anyways, so we'll jump back to, where is she?
Thanks.
Thanks, my friend.
Shut up. Oh, shut up. This. Where are we? And there's Candace. It's got to be, yeah, here we go. Crowder. Okay. So Yeah. If you're a comic that went to Riyadh and did the comedy festival, fuck you, what's wrong with you?
Oh, throw it to
Jesus.
Yeah. Let's just try and be straightforward with our views at this point. Not a cigar. And look, I'm ominously.
She's specifically like showing solidarity through imagery. Do you even know about the other shit? And like, okay, maybe he references it. We'll see.
Lighting it with a picture of it. Well, stop. This.
Oh, she had a cigar?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't even notice that part of it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought she was just lighting a picture on fire. Oh, there's a cigar.
Do you know what she's referencing, shithead?
Yeah, she's lighting her cigar with a picture of the.
That's, by the way, a terrible sweater to be wearing while around an open flame.
It's also a terrible.
Thanks for the warning. Those are terrible garments that you're wearing yourself.
Terrible way to light a cigar. First off, it's a long.
Oh God. This is the criticism. Donald Trump is about to abjectly bomb, a foreign country for the third time. I like Bill Burr too. He shouldn't have gone. It's fucking stupid. And he came back kissing their ass. It's very weird.
Longer process than just using a lighter. Also, you don't want to be smoking ink.
No, that's going to get in there.
Yeah, this is the level. This is in the middle of this. Like Donald Trump is thinking about a second violation of national sovereignty and an act of war without the approval of Congress, and these motherfuckers are going, is she lighting a cigar with an open flame? You want a hard lighter on that, and obviously that's a printed picture.
Cigar to light the picture. That's a possibility.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Unlikely.
It'd be very
this is like a chicken and the egg thing.
So you know what?
Except it's not.
You know what else they need? They need people.
How about they need real commentary that has something to do with the reality of the circumstance instead of you guys just flailing about trying not to mention that Trump is a fucking moron and is culpable in war crimes at this point.
Well, look, you want to question the number of people killed. I'm totally fine with that, by the way. I just don't think saying 99 million or 6 million or it's the Jews, and I don't trust any numbers coming out of there.
Okay, so this is a right-wing problem. Okay, that makes sense.
It's really productive right now.
This is like people in Candace Owens' like communication threads, her like comment section on X is who they're talking about.
You know, it'd be great. I don't know. Maybe the same thing you were asking for in Gaza. Let reporters in, right? Let international people go in there and tell us what's really going on and make sure that the population can communicate. Those are the same things that you were asking for. Totally different circumstances. I understand it. But if you're going to be consistent, you cared about the people in Gaza, you don't care about the people in Iran. I get it. Just maybe say that instead of calling us out for saying the exact.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I take it back. People in their comment section who are calling them out as fucking clowns.
Opposite thing, I guess.
There's a lot of right-wing boo-hooing about the comment sections these days because nobody knows what the fuck Trump is for, so they don't know which side of his dick they're sucking today.
Yes, even though it was a war. You want there to be communication. You want there to be journalists. You want there to be accurate information so the world isn't walked into a war again where they just kind of go, oh, yeah, I trust everything that's being said by these guys. Okay, well, let's ask for that. Instead, right now, it's pithy tweets about 99 million, Scott Horton, and Jake Shields 6 million right after that, and Dave Smith going out there, and I can't believe these guys.
Yeah, it's Dave Smith. Yeah, all the right-wingers and the fucking right-leaning independents that they counted on to help Trump get elected last time who are fucking shocked. Dave Smith is shocked, I tell you, that Donald Trump is doing all the shit he said he would do. Especially Gaza. Fuck Dave Smith and his bullshit chest pounding about Israel and Gaza. He doesn't give a fuck. Trump said he wanted to open Trump Plaza Gaza. He posted videos of him like running around it like a goddamn Kardashian, like AI video. And you're like, he'll be the savior of these people. Shut the fuck up.
Say they didn't care about anybody in Gaza. Now all of a sudden they care about Iranians. I'm like, well, Dave, you cared about Gaza. What you're telling me is you don't care about Iranians.
Zing! Gotcha. How about this? How about you're both equally full of shit?
So what are we doing? Is anybody consistent out there?
No, you're all assholes. We all told you. And everybody waking up to the fact that Trump might not be trustworthy or might not keep his word or might not have been completely forthcoming about his business ventures with the UAE or the Saudis in these situations, which more than anything, beyond, fucking puppet mastered by Israel, the Saudis would really fucking love the Ayatollah toppled. You want to think about who's doing him favors? Who's he been sucking up to? Like, he'll talk nice about Netanyahu, but he was fucking ready to blow MBS.
Yeah, I think that's far more inconsistent.
It's like, you heard him talk about MBS? It's like every single time he brings him up, it's just straight up. Amazingly, like he's just thirsting after him. And for somebody who supposedly traditionally hates beards, which Trump allegedly does, man, he stares longingly like Mamdani. Jesus Christ, you see him like rubbing Mamdani's arm. Like, you're fine, don't worry, don't let him get to you. You're mine now.
And saying we need to treat this international death cult as what it is. That's what the Islamic regime in Iran is. And look, you can say that the nation of Israel did not approach that well at all as far as the war in Gaza. You absolutely, and those are legitimate criticisms. And by the way, we can have an AIPAC conversation separately. And I would agree with you as far as the influence and as far as people having to register under all of that. But that doesn't change the fact that the through line here is a death cult. I mean, anywhere Islam has grown, anywhere Islam ever throughout human history has become in charge of the government, this is what you see. It's just a matter of time. And it's not lost on me that very likely could happen in Iran 20, 30 years from now again. But here's where we are right now in real time, which also brings us to...
Good. This is like, should we do anything? Because it's basically just going to... I mean, fuck these people, right? If Trump just goes back on his word, I mean, it's going to happen. It's not like they're going to be consistent and keep it, even though they managed to do it until the Shah was deposed. By MI6, by the way. I know CIA catches a lot of shit, but they bowed out in the major part of this. And like, everybody's like, America deposed the Shah. We're like, no, Jimmy Carter told him to get out of town. He was going to die because MI6 tipped that shit. It was British Petroleum that had the deal with Iran in the first place that tipped all this shit.
Actually, this surprised me. You know, Kalshi, where you can do the betting lines, they actually have right now the lines going as far as the Ayatollah when he would be out as supreme leader, and the odds are.
Jesus Christ, do you own a part of this? Is that what this is? You're just making money off of world chaos and death? Hey, there might be as many as 12,000 people dead. We'll see what the odds are on this. Don't forget, you're going to get, for every $5 you put in, you get an extra $20 to bet on other shit.
Before February 1st, 22%. Before April 1st, 48%. Before July 1st, 56%. That's odd to me. 22% seems really low because I would imagine that if something's going to happen, if the United States is going to intervene, it is going to be before February 1st.
No. Why? Because Trump's a man of his word and consistent. He's more concerned with invading an allied country.
Imagine it'd be pretty quick, but he may be able to hang on to power for just a little while. I don't know. It's hard to see, but I mean, it's such a low chance, 22%.
Yeah.
So maybe I haven't done the betting stuff yet. I'm going to go in and try.
Well, if you put money on yes, that's a big payday.
Yeah.
If it happens sooner.
Yeah.
So hey, nice sound effect there.
There you go. Oh, you're.
Jesus Christ. That's it. Like, way to fucking phone in your commentary on something as serious as that. Now, real quick, how am I doing on time? Shit, I'm already over. That's okay. You guys are with me, right? You guys good with hanging out for a second? Because a mortician apparently wants to talk about Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm very curious as to whether or not she thinks. This is a channel called Lauren the Mortician. CSL delivered this gem. I have not watched this at all. The body doesn't lie. People do. Looking at his mouth and his eyes. Does she think it's a different guy? Does she think they wheeled out a different body? Like the real Jeffrey Epstein went out a fucking air vent and they rolled out another dead body that looked like him. And that's why the cameras couldn't see where he was. And I don't know. Let's see.
Hi. Is it just me or does every household have the plague right now?
No, it's called the flu.
All sick. And also, if you notice, my eyeball is swollen. I had
pink eye
microblading done on my eyebrows.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I would assumed it was when you said the plague that it was some sort of something you caught.
They're a little dark. They'll fade. Don't worry. They'll fade. But it was overdue. And I have no idea why. But this eye, can you see that? Is so swollen. I had threading done and I'd never had that done before. I don't know. Has anyone else's eyeball swollen up after microblading? Please.
No, I have a couple of manscaping issues, but I'm going to do a whole video on that.
Let me know. Anyways, anywho, without further ado, my hair is wild. I don't have any makeup on, but we're gonna nail this. When something goes viral involving death, my brain does something very specific. I don't jump to conclusions. I don't jump to theories. I start asking one question. Does the body make sense? And then I
go, how can I jump cut every single word I say in the video?
gotta look at it because I'm a mortician and I work with the dead. I see what the human body does after life leaves it. How fast things change, what relaxes, what drains, what dries.
Yeah, and I'm curious as a mortician, have you ever seen them bag a body that's been dead, with a respirator for, basically as it's being rolled out of someplace? When it's been dead for hours? As a layman, I'm curious.
Out and what never looks the way people expect it to. So when a photo starts circulating online, especially one being framed as a dead body, I don't look at the headlines. I don't look at the comments. I mean, I do a little bit, but I look at the physiology. And that's exactly what happened when this image of Jeffrey Epstein started making the rounds. There's been a lot of renewed attention on the
Yeah, he looks like he's getting a massage.
Epstein case lately. Documents, files, rediscussions, people relitigating everything that's already been talked about to death. No pun intended. I'm not here to re-explain who Jeffrey Epstein was. If you're watching this, you already probably know. And if you don't, that's not the point of today either. What is the point is this photo. This image has been shared by major media outlets, picked up by TikTok, on some crazy conversation threads over on X, and dropped into the conversation as if it represents death. And people started tagging me. I love when they do that. Not because they wanted to gossip, but because something about it felt off.
You mean like the color in his skin and how he seems flushed?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Because I think it's weird too. So anyways, welcome back to Morbid Monday, where we don't just talk about death, we talk about what the body actually does after it. And today, we're putting the death arguing. Yes. Buzz Friday. This photo does not show a deceased body.
Okay.
Not opinion, not conspiracy, anatomy, physiology, and what the body actually does after death. Then, once we establish that, we're going to talk about the part that really doesn't sit right with me. It's a little opinionated, but we're going to go there. Why does this photo exist at all? Why?
Well, I don't know, but I will say that his neck looks fine. Looks a little full. It looks, like he's been sedated. It also looks like he's holding his eyes shut, and his mouth is either sewn shut or he's closing it. It looks like a clenched jaw. Again, this is a still photo, which keeps us from seeing his chest going up and down.
Why is this image now resurfacing? And why does it feel like it
was it in the Epstein files for some odd reason?
Creates more confusion than clarity. And finally, we're going to talk about the things that aren't discussed enough in this case, like the lack of publicly released autopsy photos, the absence of clear crime scene imagery, what documentation does and doesn't exist, and what happens after someone like this actually dies. But before we go anywhere,
if he indeed did.
Where else, we need to start with the body. It's raining outside. Alrighty then. Because no matter what you believe about this case, a dead body follows rules. So let me show you exactly how I can tell just by looking at this image that you all lovingly and morbidly tagged me in, that the person, aka Jeffrey Epstein, in this photo is very much alive in this moment, which actually makes the photo weirder to me. Pull the photo up again. I get tagged in this, and y'all want to know, does this look like a dead body to you? And that's when I realized why this photo is so effective and honestly dangerous, because it sits right in that uncomfortable middle space. Close enough to death to confuse people, or at least it's cosplaying death, but not close enough to actually be real. So instead of reacting emotionally, I did what I always do. I stripped everything else away and I asked one question, which if you ever see something like this again, I hope that this video comes to mind, because you should be thinking,
if he hung himself or was hanged or was choked or whatever, why is the color of his facial skin and his neck skin consistently there? And also, why is he flushed?
What is the body telling me? So when I saw this, the very first thing I noticed wasn't the weird looking table he's lying on. It wasn't his body positioning. It was actually the mouth area, his mouth. This is one of those things that
There's jaw tension.
families are always kind of shocked by because no one really talks about it. But when someone dies, every muscle in their body relaxes. All of it,
My dad's mouth was open.
including your jaw. And when the jaw relaxes and someone is lying on their back, gravity takes over and the mouth opens.
Yeah. And try shutting it.
Not dramatically, just naturally. So naturally, in fact, that at the funeral home, we don't just hope the mouth stays closed. We actually have to physically close it, and we have a few different techniques on how to do that, but we'll have to talk about that in another video. That's not poetic.
Staples.
That's not optional. That's anatomy. There are techniques for it because without intervention, it will not stay shut. Have you ever been sleeping in the middle of the night and your mouth just pops open? You can feel that your mouth has popped open and you've been inhaling through your mouth, so your mouth is all dry and scratchy. That happens when you die too because it just relaxes. You're going to be thinking about me when you wake up in the middle of the night and you slept with your mouth open. You're going to be like, oh, Lauren, why? So when
I use mouth tape sometimes if that's a problem, but it's only when my nose is stuffed up.
I see an individual like Jeffrey Epstein laying flat on his back with his mouth naturally closed, no tape, no visual support, no tension, my brain immediately goes, okay, well, the muscle tone is still there, and muscle tone does not exist in a deceased individual. And this is one of those
Yeah, that's what I said. The jaw is clenching.
little details. I know it's little, but it's a big detail. And people don't realize that because movies, when you watch movies and they suddenly pass away, movies lie to us. Television lies to us. Dead people on screen always look peaceful.
Well, yeah, because if you're in a story and it's a lovely story where a couple is somebody's like on Golden Pond and an old man passes away in the arms of his wife or vice versa, if they fall off the bed kind of floppy and go, that's not, it kind of eats into the like, I've always loved you. Like that's, it's just how it works sometimes.
Mouth closed, perfect, calm. I always think of Snow White. She looked beautiful, right? Her mouth is just perfectly closed. But that's not reality. Reality is gravity.
Also, Snow White was frozen by a spell. She fell into a sleep by the spell, so the spell kept her in that state. So she wasn't really sleeping, or she would have needed to wake up at some point to eat something. It wasn't a coma or anything. Obviously, she didn't even eat. She was in a fucking glass coffin.
Reality is relaxation. Reality is the body doing exactly what physics tells it to do. So
you don't have to tell me I was there.
right out the gate, before I even look at anything else, that closed mouth tells me I am not looking at a deceased person. And once I clock that, I move on to the next thing. Because the mouth isn't the only part of the body that gives this away. The eyes are next, and those are loud. After death, dehydration starts almost immediately. It does not wait. It does not care. The eyes are one of the first places that you can actually see it. The surface of the eyeballs.
Yeah, I think that all the water leaves and they start getting sunken. It's why we think of like elderly, dead people or whatever as scary from, time immemorial, because that's the image you have, because that's what the recently deceased look like. And most people died of old age over the years or illness. So they looked gaunt to start with, and then it was more exaggerated.
Starts to dry out. The corneas lose that wet, reflective look. The eyes flatten and they dull. Dehydration is not my friend in the funeral home. It's one of the very first things we are constantly fighting. In this photo, though, the eyes are still moist. Are those tears? Are his eyes leaking?
It looks like he's got Vaseline under his nose.
I don't know, but they definitely look full and hydrated and puffy in a way that suggests fluid is still being regulated in the body. That is not what I expect to see.
Also, this is supposedly a picture from when he's been dead for a couple of hours.
In someone who is deceased.
And he was not found in a river.
Stop. Dead eyes don't look like that. They just don't. And I know it's just a movie, like I know it's just a film, but in Stranger Things, when the kid is holding Eddie and like the bats got to him and he's no longer alive and his eyes are just glistening. And I know he is supposed to have just died, but I'm like, it's too lifelike. It can ruin movies for you too. So I don't know. Once you see it, you just can't unsee it. Then I move on to skin color. When the heart stops, circulation stops, and the blood is no longer being pushed throughout the body.
Yeah, the lack of oxygen is often what causes the demise.
Gravity
in one way or another
takes over. Blood settles into the lowest parts of your body, and we call that lividity. So if someone is lying flat on their back, I expect to see that settling, that purpley-ish color
in their back and shoulders and ass and back of their legs.
Start showing up in very specific places. The back of the head, the neck, maybe even the ears, face, shoulders. What I do not expect to see is an evenly colored, we'll throw the picture up again, like right here, I don't know. But his face is evenly colored. You can even see pink in certain areas of the face, which fun mortuary fact of the day. When we are embalming, have you ever wondered why embalming fluid is a certain color, why it might be a little pink or a little red? When we embalm, you can see that little pink color in his cheeks, maybe his chin and his forehead. We are essentially trying to duplicate that. Being
also, he was cremated, allegedly.
Alive look. So as the embalming fluid goes...
Well, Lauren the mortician is doing a killer job right here.
goes through and it starts to firm up the tissues, it might make things look a little pink again. My cheeks are pink. So in the photo, there is still color in his face.
Jesus Christ, he looks flushed, like he's just been running a flight of stairs.
Pinkness, and that color matters because deceased bodies don't hold facial color like that while supine. That kind of color suggests ongoing circulation, or at the very least, very recent circulation. Either way, it's not
and he'd been dead for hours when they found him, a couple hours at least.
Consistent with a body that's already gone through post-mortem changes. I've also seen some people were zooming in on Jeffrey Epstein's nose area because there is moisture under the nose, and they
yeah, his upper lip is sweating.
Think that it's purge coming out of the nose. This looks like purge, they say, but it doesn't. True post-mortem purge is heavier, can be darker, and purge follows gravity, usually. Purge is another nightmare term. Not a good day if you've got that going on, but clear moisture around the nose is incredibly common in living or recently treated patients.
Especially somebody who is faking his own death and is trying to look like he's dead and he's sweating and they've got to do this quickly because they got to get him in a car.
Oxygen secretion.
We need to get these pictures and then we got to get you the fuck out of here.
Position.
You got to be back on the island to pick some shit up and then go to Russia. And you got to do it in a hurry.
But when you stack it with everything else, Jeffrey Epstein's mouth, the eyes, the color of his face, it fits the same picture. This photo of Jeffrey Epstein is not behaving like a dead body. He's very much alive in this photo. That is my
He also doesn't have any discoloration on his neck. For somebody who was hung or hanged himself, yeah.
Opinion. So now I've looked at the job.
There you go. Anyways, I think that's a great take on it. Lauren the Mortician is her channel if you want to subscribe to it. She did this 8 days ago. It's got almost 1 million views, which is fascinating. But it's in relation to this, the lack of an autopsy, a genuine autopsy, the sort of bullshit. I think that picture looks like he's laying there and they're like, hey, close your mouth, hide your face, close your eyes, hold your mouth shut, and we'll get a picture of you laying here on the, people will think this is at the mortuary, or at the morgue rather. And then as soon as we get this, click, that one works. Okay, now get up and follow these guys. They'll give you a different set of clothes. And we're going to run you out of the place with some cotton stuck in your cheeks so that if there's facial recognition software where that catches you, then you won't set it off. Yeah, it's supposed to be an autopsy table or a morgue tray, which is horseshit. Hal, have you seen the Sasha Riley testimony? I have not. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
To some of our sponsors, then I'm going to get into some of
shut up. Okay, sorry. Whoops. Yeah, whoops. Sasha Riley interview 1. 50% audio recording of the first interview between William Sasha Riley and Lisa Noel Voldering. Let's see. This is Polywatch. So this is audio of her. I haven't seen one. Sit down with Mike Nellis to talk about the viral story of alleged Epstein survivor Sasha Riley. And then there's this Ox podcast, why I'm not covering Sasha Riley and what you need to know to understand it. Let's see who that person is. Real quick. Let's see if the countervailing story. Why I will not be covering Sasha Riley.
It's about 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning.
And
it's time to set a boundary.
That's right. Obviously, mohawks don't cross the line. I mean, mullets don't cross the line.
Which I do on this app with alarming regularity.
Okay.
I'm going to be as polite about this as I possibly.
I do not work for you, and I do not take orders from you. This sounds like somebody who's supposed to do just enough Epstein stuff to become viewed by a certain member of the audience as an expert, but specifically there as a spoiler to make sure you go up to a line but never cross it.
Possibly can be, but I also need to be firm about it. I don't work for you. I don't take orders from people in the comments.
Ouch. There's a lot. You notice this? There's a lot of this going around these days where especially the right wing are really fucking sensitive because they're getting yelled at.
I don't take instructions from people. I mean, I've already got ADHD and oppositional defiant disorder, so I react poorly to that even in the best of circumstances. Over the last couple of days on my backup and on this account, my comments have been absolutely flooded with the name Sasha Riley. So much so that I made a video last night explaining why I am not going to talk about Sasha Riley.
And you've decided to make another one. And then people got mad at you, and then now you're doing one that's saying fuck you to your audience?
This morning, my comments were...
Yeah, I don't know if he's right or left. I'm just saying, I was pointing out that on Crowder's thing, they seem really sensitive these days.
Flooded with that name at a higher number than they had been over the last 2 days, even after I made that video. I'm not going to discuss it because it's traumatic. And it triggers my PTSD from things that I've been through in my past. And you guys are going into the comments of people on this app, primarily women, who have been open on this app, content creators, and who have discussed their own personal experiences with sexual assault, sexual abuse, sex trafficking. And you're just going into their comments and demanding that they talk about that more.
Well, okay. I don't know what his difficulty is with people specifically around like what, I mean, I'm sure it's very traumatizing what Sasha Riley went through if she was a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. There's no question. But if you're covering Epstein, I think people... view that as important information, yes?
Okay. So I just want to clarify in terms of date, July 18th, 2025, my full name, Lisa Noel Volding. And Riley, do you want to state your name?
William Sasha Riley, it's a he?
And any
My name
other
is
names?
William. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. My name is William Sasha Riley. I was born Manuel Sasha Barros.
Okay.
But my legal name is William Sasha Riley at this time.
Okay. And I'm, just so we're clear, I'm based in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I lived in the United States full-time for a bunch of years. But I was brought up.
Is this by the way, is this the interview that, chat room real quick, is this the one you're talking about? Yeah, it's Sasha with a S-C-H-A. Gotcha. Okay, this is the interview. Okay, it's an hour and 21 minutes. I will watch it, and then I will address it. But I'll watch it separately because it's very long. Oh, he claims to have witnessed child killings. Jesus. Well, again, I've said this. There is no version of the Epstein world where that doesn't happen. Whether he participated in it or just turned a blind eye, or other people who were active in it saw it as a solution to whatever blackmail he might have against them. I mean, one of the things that you can do is hunt down the person that you were engaged in a video with if he's got compromise on you, and get rid of that person. And it makes corroboration of the reality of that video, harder to do. There are 9 audio files. Okay. 6 parts on Substack is brutal. Okay. Gives you satanic panic vibes. I mean, I don't doubt it. That's one of the issues. And it's the Russian spelling. Okay. I will keep that in order, but I will listen to it, and I will, I will, give it my once over in that regard. Okay. When you say Sasha, spell it with the CHA, because that's the male spelling. That helps too. SASHA is the female spelling most of the time. Okay. Now, can we at least move on to something ridiculous until we get this? This AI announcement deserves more attention than it's getting. I thought the only dipshits that could be as ignorant about AI as Elon Musk is, Glenn Beck and everybody at the Blase. But apparently, Lana Douche is also freaking out. Too far? Too fast? Question mark, exclamation point.
So SecWar was down in Brownsville, went down there to go meet with folks at SpaceX, etc. And
SecWar, that's her nickname for keg breath.
Announced today, and I had retweeted this, they said that the U.S. Secretary of Defense announced the integration of Musk's AI platform, Grok, into military networks as part of a new AI acceleration strategy while he was visiting SpaceX. And if you've ever played Halo,
this is good. I know this is going to be good if it starts out. Yes, I have played Halo.
The Halo series, Cortana, which is like the little AI kind of co-pilot that
it's also what Xbox called their AI that was on the platform for a while.
As well, but then
Cortana
doesn't end well, and it gets weird for a little bit. We're getting a Cortana, basically. I don't know how I feel about. So wasn't the last Mission Impossible about this?
Yeah, but it was kind of like somewhere between iRobot and there's a computer virus that will take over everything.
In a way, I just get nervous. Like, I want to know where the guardrails are. That's all I'm saying.
There are none. There are idiots in charge right now. People you supported. You made sure. You made it the work of your life to make sure that the dumbest fucking people could be in charge of this stuff at the most crucial time. So, no. Yeah, there are no guardrails.
I mean, it's... I
like Trump and Hegseth, so I can't criticize, but...
does that mean we're going to have the little Microsoft paperclip pop up and... Looks like you're trying to bomb the mullahs.
Where do you think AI came from, though, is my thing.
What do you mean?
I think it came from the military. I think...
Oh, God. No, it did not come from the military. Why would it be a big deal for Musk to give Grok to the military if it came from the military? Is this just for show? Is that the idea? That they're just making a big fucking tap dance? They give it to him, and then they pretend he came up with it because he's just the most obnoxious right-leaning, Nazi-adjacent dickhead they could find, and then he gives it back to them, which inoculates them from having created it in the first place. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It came from
that. But...
No, it didn't.
I think they are operating on an advanced AI that we are not actually in the consumer world privy to.
Oh, God. Okay. I mean, you do realize this is the equivalent of like saying they have a measles vaccine that the rest of us don't even have access to.
I think there's a lot that the government has in relation to technology that's probably well beyond what we have in our own current market.
Yeah, but there's always trickle down, and a lot of the stuff they have is physical elements like night vision goggles and targeting systems and lasers and stuff that can manipulate sound waves and disruptor wave, like sound machines that can make people upset or gross or throw up or whatever. That kind of stuff is well within the sort of the military idea. But insofar as like cutting edge AI, these motherfuckers don't even know where it's going. So the idea that the military would incorporate that this early is the dumb part. They're doing it in fucking fish tanks. It's not going outside of that. This isn't going to be like, Grok is in your gun now.
I'm just a little concerned about any potential dangers.
Great. Just a little concerned.
That could crop up because AI is still a thing. I mean,
It is. Yeah, I agree. It is a thing. Yeah. But eventually, it'll become a she. Boink, boink.
That's fair.
Like,
no. Yeah. Good point. Excellent. Points you.
Classified data and movements and, any kind of biases, because we've already seen a lot of bias in AI, and there's even been bias in Grok too.
Yeah. It's quite pro-Nazi.
So,
yes. What happens if it gets everyone's personal data and then starts posting naked pictures of all of us? Then what? Party!
I'm just curious as to what are the, for the lack of a better way to say it, the word fails me right now. What are the safeguards for this?
None. There are none. Guardrails? You said guardrails before. Safeguards, guardrails, limitations. You know what my favorite one is? Regulations. These would be laws passed by Congress or people in our representative government that would limit the power of said groups and said technology so that it wouldn't rage out of control and accidentally kill us all. That would be the whole shithead.
What are the ways to offset those already known limitations?
There are none.
And maybe any previously undisclosed or unknown.
Yeah, how do we handle known unknowns and unknown unknowns? I have a good idea. How about create an AI version of Donald Rumsfeld? Then we can all get like the sort of bullshit version of gray ooze filling the earth.
Issues or concerns with that AI being
she's really thinking this through. It's nice to watch the process
used into this. That's the thing, because that's what I get nervous about, because when you get in so far, at some point you can't extract yourself at that, and you go beyond the Rubicon, right? And I just want to make sure that we are always in a
it's very meta Rubicon
position of power and control with us. That's
a fair, thing.
Fair point. I don't know what you're saying. Neither of us know what we're saying, but we're saying it, and that's the important part.
To be concerned about. I think that the government has probably already addressed that.
Yeah, because they created it. So why wouldn't they? I mean, they're releasing this thing. It's really basically just a big puppet show.
In a pretty severe way.
You really trust
severe
that our government's address that?
I don't trust our government in any way, shape, or form. But
really, any way, shape, or form. So you think Pete Hegseth and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Donald Trump are complete fucking criminals, and you can't trust them in any way, shape, or form? Any way. Like, you notice how these assholes just don't even they don't even know how to put in caveats or like, I guess, guardrails, for lack of a better word, on their own criticisms when it's their fucking people in charge.
What I do trust that the government does is keep us from the latest advancements of what's out there.
Yeah, that's the whole goal. They're all trying to keep us from, getting the hottest cell phone. They all walk around with the sweet ass Trump phone, which is a piece of shit.
And I think because of that.
All right, this is just fucking lazy, fucking belligerent bro nonsense paranoia. I hate this kind of shit.
Reason?
Look, I don't trust anybody, bro. Really? How'd you drive here? You ever cross a street against the light? Of course you trust everybody. You trust the car that could hit you to slow down a little bit. Of course you trust everybody, you shithead.
I suspect they're probably holding on to a much more accurate and a much more self-serving AI.
For our benefit, then.
Interesting, maybe. But they're talking about...
Interesting.
Grok, though. They're talking about using the Grok that we have.
Yeah, integrated with Google AI into the Pentagon's, I guess, framework of strategy.
I love his integrated with the Google framework of strategizations of the internal mechanisms of said system. Huh? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's Google. So are we upset at Google AI too? I mean, it's just AI.
Hey, shithead, she's not upset at Grok. She just thinks she knows Grok is shit. She's not concerned that it's like going to be traitorous. She just knows she uses it. It's fucking garbage.
We're looking at it from a perspective of us from the commercial standpoint.
Right.
We're just consumers. And
let's.
Yes, that's all you are.
Here's Sec War on this. This is Hegseth. Listen.
Excited to announce the next frontier AI model company to join GenAI.mil, and that is Grok from xAI, which will go live later this month. So I want to thank you, Elon, and your incredible team for leaning forward with us on this as well. Very soon, we will have the world's leading AI models on every unclassified and classified network.
Nobody gives a shit if it's on an unclassified network, I think.
Throughout our department.
Great. Pretty soon, and we'll just have Elon Musk and all of his buddies, and their AI will just have access to all that shit, and there will be no bleed through to the outer part of the AI. Yeah.
Long overdue.
No, not long overdue. This is new shit, you fucking moron.
To further that, today at my direction, we're executing an AI acceleration strategy that will
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word executing.
extend our lead in military AI established during President Trump's first term. This strategy will unleash experimentation, eliminate bureaucratic barriers, focus on investments, and demonstrate the execution of...
Great, so AI will be picking defense contracts. I mean, they got $1 billion, or you got $1.5 trillion to play with, so who gives a shit?
Approach needed to ensure we lead in military AI and that it grows more dominant into the future.
But I am concerned about any kind of boundaries for data.
Yeah, tough shit. Sorry. That's your guy. There are no boundaries. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's being snowed by Elon Musk. He's too stupid to understand why there would be a need for limitations at all. He's an ignorant son of a bitch. And he thinks it'll just make us tougher and faster. And he wants fighting robots that'll kill anybody that we target. And it will give him the DNA signature of somebody, and it will kill that person and leave everybody around them just stunned and forgetting the entire thing. That's what he thinks is going to happen.
Like what, as it pertains to like classified versus, public information, and what vulnerabilities there are for leaks, and where is it going to be? Where is it going to operate out of? Where is it?
It's going to be everywhere.
Is it
Memphis
going to be isolated? Like what? There's a lot of questions. So I know people get really excited about it, and look, I love gadgets and I like tech and I think it's fun, but I just want to be very careful that we know the ground that we're going into.
You don't, and neither does he, and neither does Trump. They're all snowed and they're all morons.
January is...
Oh, God. But buy gold, because we're all going to be living in a fucking post, capitalism, Ayn Randian economy where everybody pays for things with gold coins like they're in a fucking John Wick spinoff. Okay, so... we'll end on this last little piece. I got a couple of minutes until the top of the hour. I want to thank you guys for being here. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc., etc. Happy Wednesday, by the way. This one, I don't even know if this is true, but I'm excited about the idea. Trump ditches Bondi. Report, Bondi out? Trump eyes new DOJ power player. Well, let's fucking go. And I'm always wondering, this is Trish Regan, the right wing's blow-up doll that hosts a show. I don't know why all of her images look like an ad for a blow-up doll that never looks like that when it arrives in the box. Womp womp. No. But then we'll see what kind of ridiculous outfit she's wearing. She's dressed like a woman cosplaying a Pixar villain.
Slashing all funding to all sanctuary cities. Here's the lead in the New York Post right now. Trump announces sanctuary cities and states will lose federal funds on February 1st. Oh my goodness, that's just...
Yeah, he doesn't have the right to do that. And even if they do, it's a minor amount. And also, those are the cities that the federal funds come from in the first place. So they'll just revamp their tax structure, and then that'll choke off money going to the federal government, because they'll have a legal reason to do that, and they'll sue for the funds to come back because it's really their money anyways. So red states never get this is because they wouldn't survive without it.
A few days away, right? I mean, that's coming up fast. Cashing out. What a good headline. President Trump said Tuesday he is preparing to halt federal funding to sanctuary cities and states on February 1st, potentially yanking billions of dollars in revenue in response to barring cooperation and immigration agents. So
with immigration.
You haven't cooperated. You're actually not allowed.
By the way, Carrie Lake called and she wants her skin polishing blur filter back.
Allowing immigration agents in.
Also, the nose shrinking part of it is a bit odd because it gives you buck teeth. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. When people have their nose shrinking filter on, it draws up it shapes their face in such a way that it makes their teeth look
You're
buck.
not assisting them when they need the help. And he's like, okay, then we're cutting you off. You're not getting any more money. But I have a question for you guys, because I'm sitting there looking at this headline and I actually had to do a double take because I thought we actually had already done this. In fact,
yeah, it's almost like he's bullshitting.
I kind of thought that we had ended all of the sanctuary city funding and maybe it was trapped up in some legal issues. And I'm reading the Bloomberg article and I'm reading the New York Post and it's like it's fresh as of today. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, I'm not losing my mind here, right? No, I'm not, because back in February of 2025, what did Pam Bondi do? She said she cut off all the sanctuary cities from their funding. She was pausing the money.
For what? Law enforcement?
Back then, here's the New York Post.
Which you can't do.
February 5th, 2025. Newly inaugurated Attorney General Pam Bondi ordered the defunding of jurisdictions that refused to cooperate with federal immigration authorities on Wednesday, potentially cutting off.
Yada, yada, yada. Like, again, this is Trump. Let's see. Yeah, here you go. This is the part where I think we're looking at.
And Letitia James and even the DMV. Remember?
We're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder, who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are...
I think they filed a lawsuit. They weren't charged with crimes. She didn't charge the governor of New York with a crime.
Taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to...
Apparently, Trish is not buying what Pam Bondi is selling a year later.
Prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today.
No, apparently it didn't stop. And it didn't stop in February of 2025, because now Donald Trump is saying it's going to stop. And you know what else he's saying? I think I got a lemon. I got a real lemon in Pam Bondi. Turns out she can't do the job. Ooh.
Yeah, but the job was hiding the Epstein files, and she just legally couldn't do it because she was circumvented by Congress.
And we've been saying that here for weeks, have we not? I think we've been saying that
since July.
We're going all the way back to September. I mean, maybe October. Maybe I gave her a little bit of rope. I'm a pretty generous person, and
I'm just going to enjoy this. I really wish I had popcorn.
like to believe that people are doing the right thing and they're quite capable, but I have seen nothing but catastrophe after catastrophe after catastrophe. And by the way, I'm not the only one. Because Susie, who's the so-called ice queen, right, over there in the White House that is the president's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, she was the one who said, boy, Pam whiffed on the Epstein files.
Yes, she was. Yeah, you misunderstand, though. The whiffing part was not on how she handled it in a public relations level. It's mean that she was supposed to hide all of them, and apparently a bunch of them are going to come out.
So now... the news story, and you can see this one in the Daily Mail, is Donald Trump souring on Bondi. Well, wouldn't you? I mean, under the circumstances, wouldn't you?
No, I would have never hired her in the first place because I'm not a fucking moron. And I've never been the wingman of a sex criminal. Certainly not for a quarter century.
If you put your head of the DOJ in charge of doing a lot of things that you thought she was going to get done, and then it turns out, she forgot to turn in her homework on time and missed the statute of limitations.
He's not firing the other prosecutors that he put in, the beauty queens that suck at their job.
James Comey, I'd be mad too. I mean, I am mad, and it's not involving me. I'm just commenting from the sidelines, and I'm like, I can't believe this. The incompetency is off the charts.
Yeah, it's almost like she has no fucking case.
She can't do the job.
Because the job can't be done.
Sorry, you know what? She's pretty on television. She does a good job on Hannity. Let her do that. Let her be a PR person, okay? She's a politician, so she
Why would, if she fucked this job up, why would she be a good spokesperson after the fact?
this is up to him, and maybe she's loyal, maybe she's not. I don't know. All I know is the proof's in the pudding, and this woman can't get the job done.
Well, again, maybe the job can't be done. Maybe that's the problem. You're deluded, and Trump promised you a bunch of shit, and you actually believed it was possible, and Pam Bondi can't carry it out. Don't get me wrong. I think she's a fucking moron. But also, a fucking moron isn't responsible for something they are materially, physically, gravitationally incapable of doing. I don't blame a moron because they can't flap their wings and fly. They're still a moron, but not because of that.
She can't. I mean, nothing's happened.
Yeah, it's almost like Trump was always full of shit.
Don't take my word for it. Comer feels the same way. Everybody
Oh, Comer, really? The I'm going to get Hunter Biden guy?
feels this right now.
At the end of
popcorn
the day, I've been disappointed in some of the criminal referrals that are collecting dust on Attorney General Bondi's desk. I've made that very clear with the White House.
Yeah, it's A, she sucks at her job, but B, you've given her fucking nothing. Like, again, a bunch of Fox News articles and videos of people shit-talking them and stuff from Greg Gutfeld's show is not going to persuade even the most liberal, and I use that in its traditional function, in its traditional linguistic usage, of grand juries.
I'm hopeful that we'll see some action soon on, the criminal referrals that range everywhere from Dr. Fauci to the Biden family influence peddling scheme.
Yeah, you're not, because they don't exist.
So we've got that. But now with respect to Minnesota, I'm very confident the Department of Justice is going to make several more requests. They've already made several arrests, dozens of arrests down there. And
yeah, because it's pretty cut and dry.
They're working on dozens of prosecutions.
Yeah, when are they going to start on Ohio? Apparently there was a similar scheme going on in Ohio, but that's a state that Trump won, I guess, so...
But that's the tip of the iceberg.
It's interesting that he's not really going after that state.
And the Department of Justice knows it. Homeland Security obviously is down there. You've got the Department of Ag looking at some of these food programs. So I think everyone in the Trump administration, HUD, all the different agencies are serious about apprehending these fraudsters.
Okay, they're serious about going after the fraudsters. By the way, that's why they don't allow Pam to actually be the one who's going to control all this, right? I mean, you had J.D. Vance say the other day, we got somebody new, a new position, reporting directly to the president. She was totally bypassed. And the word on the street is that he's looking to do that in many different capacities. In other words, she can't run the show. That's what she's supposed to do.
Yeah, it's almost like when they gave Dan Bongholio an assistant deputy director of the FBI so that somebody was there who actually knew how to do the fucking job because he was barely showing up. And when he was there, he just sat in his office with his thumb up his ass. And I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. I mean, if that's your idea of a good time, it beats a sharp stick in the eye.
And she can't do the job. Let's continue listening.
So you're confident there will be arrests and criminal charges brought in Minnesota in 2026?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course there will be. It's a standard government corruption thing.
I'm to the Justice Department. Has the Justice Department done enough?
Well, I would like to see more. I'm an optimistic person. I believe that they're working very hard.
Me too. Look at that broken clock moment. Comer and I agree. They should do more. Namely, go after Epstein's best friend. And while they're at it, they should get Roy Cohn's best friend. Oh, wait a second. It's the same fucking guy, Donald Trump.
Hard. And I know the president has a lot of confidence in Pam Bondi.
Not really.
So hopefully they will be more successful in prosecuting some of these people that we've provided congressional evidence that have broken the law.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of the comments on
Good Lord.
X. This is a very popular chart
Yep.
on X. It says 0 arrests for
I showed that this morning. This is awesome.
some scandals that are very important to Republicans. Is that what accountability looks like?
Listen, that's the biggest complaint of every Republican on the House Oversight Committee.
Is how fucking useless I am in my job. It's amazing. Like how I whiff every time I'm at bat. It is a fucking waste of time. I swear to God, I think some days it would be better if I was not the person in charge because they could probably accidentally convict innocent people that we don't like better than I could ever find anything that would show actual guilt. So, yeah.
Is there haven't been enough arrests. Now, some of these...
there haven't been any.
Some of those issues...
Yeah, exactly, okay? There haven't been enough arrests. By the way, I'm making a comment right now.
There have been zero. The list wasn't like 1 and we want 5. It was all zeros, dipshit.
Now, in the live comments, don't forget to turn on your alerts. So if you're...
Yeah, I don't do that. If you want to turn on your notifications, please do, but I would never ask that of people. You know when I'm going to be here. I'll see you next time.
Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also hit the bell so that you turn on the alerts so that you know when I'm live. It's really, really important. One of these days, we actually will find a very firm time slot. It tends to be sometime between 3.
Oh, I see. That's because she's lazy and can't show up on time. Okay. Yeah, some of us work for a living, lady.
And well, today was a little bit later, right? Almost 6 o'clock. So we tend to aim for that window. So
couldn't get the smudge filter working.
Always check your alerts, and that way you know when I'm here.
Trump has complained about Pam Bondi repeatedly to aides. This is, it says exclusive, but it doesn't say what paper.
It's really, really important. But I'm like, gosh, I mean, she hasn't done anything. And so now he started to complain, and he has every right to complain. Look, I don't want to complain about Pam. I like Pam. She's a nice person.
Based on what?
I've been on TV with her many times.
Oh, okay, that's plenty. You didn't mention that you were on TV with her. Shit.
And she's come on my show over the years.
Oh, then you're basically sisters.
At Fox, and we've been on Newsmax together. Like,
it's funny how there are a lot of people I like and trust, and it's not because I've shared a fucking podcast with them.
I really don't want to complain about her, but I'm actually really concerned about the country, and I'm concerned about the president. I'm concerned that
she sucks.
Not getting our homework in on time. Okay, so Trump has complained about Pam Bondi repeatedly to aides. That is the headline, the big exclusive in the Wall Street Journal today. And it says this month, Donald Trump has talked to allies about how he could appoint special counsels at the Justice Department because he's so frustrated with what he sees as slow progress of its work. According to people familiar with the situation, this does not surprise me at all. This is exactly what they did with Minnesota and all the fraud. Now they're putting somebody that doesn't have to report to Pam in charge of the entire operation for all of the fraud. Granted, it's a little bit too big for her, but there's a lot.
Well, it's a specific investigation. They do that a lot. Like the AG isn't going to cover individual stuff. This isn't the fucking New York DA's office in an episode of Law and Order.
It's too big for her. I think the Epstein
good fucking God
stuff is too big for her. I think the Biden crime family stuff is too big for her. I think the Russia stuff is too.
I think the alphabet is too big for her.
Big for her. I mean, it's all too big.
I think eating a fruit roll-up without consuming the plastic lining is too big for her.
For a politician from Florida who's good on television. Because you know what you need? Not a politician, not somebody that's good on television. You need somebody who knows how to run a big, giant shop of litigators, okay? Somebody from, I don't know, Jones Day, which is a popular firm in...
Wait, wasn't that the one that Hillary Clinton hired? Hold on. Let's see. My drunker, wasn't that her primary law firm that she worked with on her? Let's see. Jones Day is discussion completely unrelated. Jones Day law firm. Okay. Clinton v. Jones. It's misunderstanding me. But they worked for Trump's campaign, but they also worked, I want to say, one of their lawyers worked with
conservative circles. Go get the head of Jones Day who knows how to run a whole team of litigators because you need litigators all over the country.
No, they don't. They're a defense firm.
U.S. attorney here, there, and everywhere.
I mean, I'm sure they hire people away from it. So
doing their jobs, and then
their job is to actually prosecute the criminals and to follow the law. And when they do, they find there's nothing where Trump wants them to go. So the ironic part is that yes, she's a piece of shit, and yes, she's terrible at her job, but she's also limited by reality. Trump wants her to go after people for crimes they haven't committed.
You have to, as Attorney General, kind of pick and choose which are the most important cases here.
Yeah, and Epstein would be the most important. I think we can all agree. No?
And kind of keep an eye on them, right? Babysit them a little bit. Manage them. You've got to be a good manager. I don't think she is. I think that she knows how to be on TV and she knows how to campaign, and that's called being a politician.
Yep, she's wearing her Wilma Deering roller skating outfit.
That's called being good on TV, and none of them have anything to do. And maybe she's a good lawyer, sure, but again,
pardon me, Your Honor. Objection. Cites evidence not in the record. We had an evidentiary hearing, Your Honor, a couple days ago, and there was no sign whatsoever that she knew what she was doing or was good at her job ever.
And you can be a great lawyer, and you may not be able to manage an entire team of lawyers. And so,
awesome. Now do Pete Hegseth.
So he needs what I'm calling like a CEO type position. Now he's doing it, right? Like he's doing it. This is why he's getting a new prosecutor to go after all the fraud.
No, he isn't. He's micromanaging because he's too scared to fire her. That's not CEO behavior. I thought he was the you're fired guy.
And maybe Besant will help manage that prosecutor as well, but you can't have...
Besant? Why? Why would the Treasury Secretary be... Jesus.
Pam do it. Pam can't get her homework in on time. She can't manage to meet the statute of limitations on Comey.
That's because he didn't commit a crime.
Is we are creating a new assistant attorney general position who will have nationwide
assistant attorney general. Yeah, so they're going to give her. So what you mean is training wheels. Welcome to the Trump Participation Trophy Administration. We put a bunch of ineffective show ponies in charge of very important, elements of our government, departments of our government, and then we have to backfill it with people who know what they're fucking doing to work and in the fucking basement doing their job for them.
Jurisdiction over the issue of fraud.
No, because Pam can't do the job. All right. So look, he's done with her. At this point, I think he likes her. He likes her personally, but this is business, okay?
No, it isn't.
It's just business.
It's not business. It's public service, shithead.
And we need people who can get this done.
Yes, public servants.
I mean, when you don't have people that can get it done, it turns into a kind of chaos.
Gee, you think? God damn. They're doing great, though. I want you to know the Trump administration fucking killing it. All right, I know I'm running late, but Summer had a show tonight, so she was out the door a little bit ago. So I'm on my own. On my own. This is gonna be stupid. I just know it. Just know it. We got through a lot of stuff today. I'm very impressed. Covered a lot of bases, a lot of variety of clips. Obviously it took extra time, but that's still impressive, right? So we see a little bit. Jimmy Dore is only lower on the reliability scale that we saw this morning on the Ad Fontes media bias chart. Only I think Tim Pool and a couple others are lower than him. So this is Jimmy Dore. Trump flip-flops, calls for massive increase in defense spending. Trump's latest MAGA betrayal. Why would your supporters give a shit if he's betraying MAGA? Also, those are some fucking tall soldiers. They're almost as... I don't know how they fit in the planes.
One of the first meetings I want to have...
Oh, who the fuck is filling in for him? Trump's calling... Guess it was Chris Keene and Kurt Metzger. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense.
With President Xi of China, President Putin of Russia, and I want to say, let's cut our military budget in half. And we can do that. And I think we'll be able to do it.
We're cutting it in half, Kurt. Isn't that good news?
I remember this. We reported on when it first happened.
Yeah, you bought it hook, line, and sinker.
What happened?
He was always full of shit, and you were always a dopey fuck who wanted to believe it.
Well, welcome back to the Jimmy Dore Show. I am your guest host, Chris Keene, sitting in for Jimmy. He's on tour in Hawaii right now. I'm here with Kurt Metzger. And
during the affordability crisis, nothing like a Marxist millionaire on tour in Hawaii.
Good news, everybody. We're upping the military budget. Just what we
thank
need.
God.
Yeah.
I was afraid that we only spent $1 trillion.
It wasn't enough. Trump.
Hey, you know what, Kurt? You're right. Kamala would have done this. Biden would have done this. I mean, they didn't when they had the chance, and they would have had the votes to do it because I guess every Republican who signed on to this would have signed on to it as well. But they would have. It just had to happen in 2026 or 2025. So it wasn't their fault. They were just in a big, they really wanted to do it, and because there's basically no difference.
Sparks a surge in defense stocks by calling for a $1.5 trillion in military spending.
Why have I still not put money in defense stocks to this day? Even though I know that's how it works.
Yeah, we got it.
I know how to make money. You invest in military shit.
Well, then why did you believe Trump when he said he would cut it in half in fucking February of last year, you dough-headed fuck?
We're doing it wrong.
And I don't. Why? What is wrong with me?
1.5 trillion.
You're a bullshit artist for a living. You sell kind of like low-res Alex Jones nihilistic horseshit for a living and pass it off as wisdom and just make shit up and slam incongruent details together and form like loosely based conspiracies on that idea, and then you laugh them away, even though if there was any truth to them, they would be the most horrifying thing in the world and would cause you to do nothing but hole up in your fucking apartment like Ray Finkel's parents.
$1 million budget. A lot of anti-war activists are upset about this. You can hear from one of them right now.
Send ICE after him, I say.
At some point, when things settle down, I'm going to meet with China, and I'm going to meet with Russia in particular, those two, and I'm going to say there's no reason for us to be spending almost $1 trillion on military. There's no reason for you to be spending $400 billion. China's going to be at $400 billion. We're at $1 trillion. We're going to be at close to $1 trillion. And I'm going to say, we can settle this on, we can spend this on other things. We don't have to spend this on military.
This keeps happening to me on this show. They keep loading the wrong clips. That looked
hilarious. Yes, we get it. He contradicts himself. You do realize this is not news. This is not surprising at all. Yes. Yeah. News flash. Donald Trump is a bullshit artist. The bigger news flash is that, I don't know about this dude, but Kurt and Jimmy totally gargled Trump's balls all of 2024.
Like Donald Trump saying our military budget is too high. That's weird. All right, sorry.
But that's blue tie Trump.
Yeah, that was blue tie Trump. Sorry.
There's two Trumps. You have to
I don't
understand.
think that was the right clip.
There's no reason for us to be building brand new nuclear weapons. We already have so many. You could destroy the world 50 times over, 100 times over.
Yeah, and then he's going to say, I got all new nuclear stuff, and you hate to even say it, and blah, bitty fucking blah.
And here we are building new nuclear weapons, and they're building nuclear weapons, and China's building new nuclear weapons, and China's trying to catch up because, they're very substantially behind, but within 5 or 6 years, they'll be even. And we're all spending a lot of money that we could be spending on other things that are actually hopefully much more productive.
Are these AI? Who is that guy?
I don't
know.
Who
is this hippie peacenik?
Yeah, we get it. We all know these. These are from the period where Kurt and Jimmy thought Trump was the good guy. The rest of us were not suckered by this. There's no irony to any of us watching this. He's always been a bullshit artist.
I think you're being foolish for not understanding your president is Larry Ellison. So you never should have... Look, this is...
Yeah, it's not Trump's fault. Larry Ellison's making him.
The benefit of Trump. We learned that the president is not in charge. They'll say whatever.
Yeah.
Okay? The real president are the venture capitalists and oligarchs behind the president. So,
oh, really? So is that why we passed an infrastructure act under Biden, but we couldn't pass one under Trump? Is that why we didn't have $1 trillion military budget under Biden, but we did have one under Trump? Is that why the Chips and Science Act moved those chips that we needed for cars and everything else, not to mention defense and simply, like the higher quality stuff and keeping it out of the hands of the Chinese military, that, the Chips and Science Act would move that stuff here and add technological training to American workers and all that kind of stuff. That was done under Biden, but some reason Trump does all this shit, and it's not Trump's fault. It's just because that's how shit works, even though that's not how it worked under Biden at all.
Larry Ellison,
Clearly.
who was an Obama supporter, who wanted us all spied on, is going to do it. And the money isn't going to nukes. Trump said we don't need more nukes, and he's right. What we need is to give AI fucks all of our money. And that's what he did.
Why is that a joke?
And you can't make any laws in the states against it.
Well, I'm glad that this guy, whoever he is, let's show him again. This is what.
Yeah, we get it. Yes, it's Trump lying. Yes, Trump speaks out of both sides of his mouth. This is so fucking tired.
This is an anti-war protester right here. You see that guy right there? This guy hates military funding.
bit, yeah.
We got another clip of this guy. Let's
One
see.
of the first meetings I want to have is with President Xi of China, President Putin of Russia, and I want to say, let's cut our military budget in half, and we can do that. And I think we'll be able to do it.
We're cutting it in half, Kurt. Isn't that good news?
I remember this. We reported on when it first happened.
What happened?
You didn't just report on it. You did not report on it. You applauded it and believed it, you gullible bastard. Now it's the fucking Larry Ellison's running everything. But back then, like Trump is finally telling the truth.
I don't understand.
Is this your first day? He's went back on everything that wasn't a promise to the Adelson, Adelson.
Donald Trump?
What's happening.
Donald Trump did that?
Okay, this is just going to be like sarcasm passing for humor the entire time. Ugh. Good Lord. By the way, Kurt has a picture of Erica Kirk, I think being interviewed as his backdrop by a black lady. I'm going to let you guys go because I kept you long because this is a good time. I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Don't forget, we have, go back to here. Where is it? Chat. There you go. Excellent. We're going to, I'll check in with you guys. Remember, the show tomorrow is an hour later because some of us provide a real schedule to people because we're decent and care about our audiences. I'm talking to you, Trish Regan, you lazy fuck. And in the interim, like, subscribe, share the clips from the show, help us out any way you can. I always hate asking for this, but apparently nobody else minds. Everybody else is just totally fine, just selling this hard pitch or whatever. I'd rather just do the show than sell the show, but I guess it's necessary. So there's the Venmo, patreon.com/HalSparks. Please share the clips on your social media stuff and share the show. And let me remind everybody that Sparklers, when you show up in somebody's chat room, you are the greatest. And they all tell me. Everybody, and it's happened more and more lately, from Boston Brian and Texas Paul to Cliff Schechter to Stephanie Miller herself, and John Fugelsang, in his serious audience, when they know that there are sparklers in the chat, they know that they're getting the best, the creme de la creme de la creme de la creme. But in the interim, I will leave you with this. I'm very excited. Tomorrow's show, I've got more stuff to work on the rig tonight, so I don't want to. I got shit to do, so I got to get at it so that it'll be ready by tomorrow afternoon show. I got a little bit of extra room because of the family FaceTime, but it runs interference right before that time. So in the interim, I will see you guys tomorrow. Wish me luck. I don't have to dismantle anything, but I will be adding things back in, and I'm very nervous about whether it'll work or not. Help! Shit. By the way, supporting the show and becoming a Patreon subscriber is one of the best ways to help us be able to build my system up, and maybe, who knows, one day I'll be able to hire a PR person and an assistant and all that stuff. We're going to raid Boston Brian? Excellent. Let's jump over. Love you guys. Spread the love. Yeah, go over to Boston Brian show now. We are Harry Crumb. You're quite the philodendron. Also, Flappers shows are starting up next month in February, and I'm doing a thing called a special a month. These aren't just going to be a regular Friday night experimental show. I'm doing a special every month that I will live stream from Flappers. Because I'm that good, people. I might even let you guys help me pick the theme ahead of time. Hit it. Raid successful? Looks like it. Place is out. What a sports nut, huh? She's a very proud Finkel fan, sir. Excellent. Let me know when we got it. Brian giving us love on Twitch for the raid. Excellent. We'll give him some love back, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm out.